Welcome to All Things Woman, where we discuss femininity, womanhood, and I give you overall life advice. If any of that interests you, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Jealous people want to humiliate you for one reason and one reason only. That is what we're going to be talking about on this live stream. But how's everybody doing? I do not like that lighting. I don't. Yeah, jealous people want to humiliate you for one reason and one reason only. How are you all liking the content? Lately, we've been talking a lot about jealousy. Not lately. I've been talking about this topic of jealousy and envy for the past few months. And it seems to be a very popular topic with people because a lot of people experience the jealousy of other people. So I feel like I need to keep talking about this because it's something that is relatable to all people, not just women. But as you know, I talk to women on this channel. So that's who my audience is. Let me look at some of your comments. Hi, Duchess of Success. How are you? All the way from London. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. CBA Media, welcome to the live stream. Hello, Wilson, last name Wilson. Absolutely love that you are all here. Super helpful insight you provide. Thank you. You're welcome, Miss Lovely. How are you? Gail at Night, welcome. Dulce Sweet. Hi, yes, it's important. Absolutely. Gifted Within 7. Welcome to the live stream. I absolutely appreciate you all. Jealous people, they seek to humiliate you for one reason and one reason only. When people are jealous of you, you pose a threat to them. You are, or they look at you as a threat, and that's the reason why they desire to humiliate you. They use humiliation tactics simply because you are becoming a little bit too powerful in their presence. You're becoming a little bit too influential in their presence, and they have to do something to dumb you down a notch. When people are jealous of you, when they are envious of you, they will look for ways to so-called bring you back down to reality, even if you're already there. You do not have to be a cocky, arrogant, conceited person for people to go out of their way to try to humiliate you or so-called humble you in some way. As I have said in many videos, I am for being humble. Humility is a beautiful trait in a person and a woman. However, humility is not to lack confidence. And people who are jealous and envious of you, they want you to lack confidence. It's not oftentimes that you lack humility, it's that you represent something that a jealous person believes that they can never be. They are perceiving your confidence as somehow being better than them, as somehow trying to come against them, as somehow being a threat toward them, when actually you're just being yourself. And a lot of people who are jealous and envious of other people, they don't even realize that a lot of the people who are operating from a confident place, from a place of feeling sure of themselves, they had to work. A lot of us had to work to get to that point. It didn't always come natural, but people who are jealous and envious automatically perceive you as being a threat because you have that level of confidence. And even if you're not an overly confident person, if you don't worry about negative things, if you do the best you can, if you look the best you can, if you keep it together, people who are jealous and envious, they will see you as a threat. Let me look at some of your comments. Greetings. Your discussions have been a huge blessing to me, often bringing clarity and a sense of peace as I navigate many of the scenarios that you speak about. Keisha Hayes, I am so happy that you're getting value from the content, and I'm happy that you're here. That is truly what it's about, because a lot of people, I know that a lot of people experience a lot of the things that I discuss on this channel. And I always want to keep the topics where it's relatable, not that relatable as in like we're glorifying struggle, we're, down and out, down bad, because, that's what the haters want to see. That's what jadals, haters and jealous people mix together, jadals. That's what haters love to see. They like to see and hear the down bad conversations, I've been struggling all my life conversations, the woe is me conversations. And on this channel, We are real, but we also look at the opposite side of what jealous people want us to look at, and haters and bullies. And that's often the side that says, I'm never going to be great. I can never accomplish anything. I'm not beautiful. I'm not this. I'm not that. Haters already think those things about you. So I refuse to bring that kind of negativity onto my channel. We are leveled up, feminine, confident women. And there's been enough of that over humility of trying to make other people feel good about themselves by dumbing ourselves down. We don't do that. And when people are jealous and envious of you, they always expect you to be in a position of constantly dumbing yourself down. That's what they want you to do. That's what they want to do. And I can say for myself, for a very long time, I was accustomed to letting people, put me in this position where it's like, okay, I can't act too much. I can't be too much. I can't smile too much. I can't be too happy. They're going to look at me like, what's wrong with you? Why are you acting like that? You know, they always want to put you in a position where you got to just keep it mellow in order to keep other people comfortable. But when you realize that, you're just as important as any other person, your feelings and how you carry yourself as a woman, your countenance, which is the way you carry yourself, that matters. And you refuse to let people kind of get you in this spot where it's like, okay, I don't want you to look at me like I'm doing too much. So I'm not going to dress up that much. I'm not going to speak that much. No, it's enough with that. April, you're welcome. Currency, you look beautiful, miss. Thank you so much, social media currency. I appreciate you. Let me sip some of my tea here. Yeah, when people are jealous of you, they will go out of their way to try to humiliate you. They will bring up things about you in an attempt to embarrass you. Dolce Sweet, how do you combat this? I typically just walk away, but the gossip transfers and it's hater situation all over again. When you are leveling up, and when you are doing better for yourself, when you feel better about yourself, you have to expect to be talked about. And there's not really anything. I know this might not be the answer that you're looking for, but there's nothing you can do about the gossip and rumors or whatever else people might try to say about you, especially when you're doing better for yourself. It's because they're a hater. It's because they're jealous. If nobody's talking about you the way I see it, then you're not really doing anything worth talking about. When people are talking about you, when people have some kind of, negative thing to make up about you, that means that you are doing better than what you were. See, nobody's going to mess with anybody that's in the trenches with them. Or on a spiritual note, the devil doesn't attack people who aren't doing anything because they're already on his team. But when you are doing something that's light, that's positive, when you are light and positive, when you overcame your past and you're not in the messiness anymore, messy people who are still there, they're not going to like that. So they're going to have to make something up. They're going to have to find one little thing. It can be a flaw, and it doesn't even have to be something that you're doing. It can be, something about how you look or where you work or how you go to school or the kind of people you talk to. It can be anything that they'll use to try to make you look bad in some way. But what haters and jealous people don't understand is that the more they try to come against you, the more they prove themselves and show themselves to be a hater. If you are somebody's coffee table talk, if somebody's laying in their bed at the end of the night talking about your life, then you are that girl. Okay. And you might not be trying to be that girl. You might be as humble as pie, sweet as pie, just doing your thing, living your life. But if you hear rumors circulating about yourself and the things that you're doing in a positive note, you are that girl. You are that guy if I have men watching. So there's really nothing you can do about haters and them talking about you. I say let them talk. For me, if I cared about people talking about me, I surely would not be on YouTube. Actually, I want you to talk about me, whoever's watching, because I know that I'm making an impact in your life. Even if you don't receive it as impact, I'm still making an impact because you're talking about me. And that's the way you have to see it when haters are following you. And see, people who are jealous and envious, They watch you very closely. They might not say anything, but they're watching you. And I don't say that to say that you should be paranoid by this. I say that to say that you have influence even over your haters. Oh, excuse me. Yes, I feel like above Ruby's TV. Yes, I feel like I go through this at every job. If they're not gossiping about their steady giving size up looks or ignoring you, happening at my new job. Yeah, the workplace is a, place where those kind of things happen often, and it's because you have a lot of people in such close proximity to one another. So of course you're going to have different people that might look at you, they have issues with you for some reason. And in the workplace, it seems like you don't even have to really talk to people that much in order for them to have some kind of issue with you. Actually, sometimes it's because you don't talk that much. That's the reason why people have issues with you. And that's the reason why, for me, being in the workplace, for the most part, I just do my job and go home. You try to associate, you try to, for me, the most important part is, as long as you acknowledge people when you come in as a whole. For me, I'm not going to walk around, hey, Susie, hey, Jim, hey, Keisha. No, when I say good morning or hello, that's a universal hello for whoever's in the room. After that, I'm done. I'm getting to my job so I can go home. You don't really need to perform. I've said this before, but we don't feel the need to perform for people, especially not on the job. For what? Unless you genuinely have a relationship with that person or you click. I had a few coworkers at multiple places that I clicked with automatically. So we would talk. It's like, hey, stuff like that. But some people, it's just like, how you doing? Good. All right. What's on the schedule for today? All right. Let me know if you need help, and go to your end and do your job. Like, who has time for that? No. I'm like so done with the workplace. I feel like mentally I've already tapped out of the workplace, and I would never put down going to a 9 to 5 job. I'm just starting to feel like, for me, I just don't want to do it no more. Like, I love YouTube. I love helping women. I love being on here, but I'm going to be honest with you always. I also like the fact that I get to sit here and talk to you, and I ain't got to go deal with that stuff. So, still get paid, and I don't have to deal with Susie, Jimmy, and Jack talking about a water cooler. I had to quit a job because of a bunch of mean girl clicks. And see, that's what, okay, water Wicca X. That's what we're not going to do, though. Like, I understand in these workplaces, it can be very trying on your patience to deal with these bullies and jealous people, and people that might have little issues with you at the workplace. But do not let people run you away from your coin. Like, we're not letting people run us away from our money. Now, if you have options and you need to be somewhere else, you do that. But under no circumstances, and this is like a mother moment, I'm sorry, but if you need to be there for a time while you figure out your next move, you're going to have to learn how to not let these envious, jealous, bully type mentality women with the bully mentality at your job, get under your skin. And most of the time, and this is where, like I've said in other videos, while femininity for a woman, you should lean into that and operate and lead with that. But in the workplace, you have to put on that queen feminine energy where you are going to be the woman in that workplace who just doesn't take any stuff. And you don't have to walk around saying it with your chest. You don't have to walk around, yelling and being aggressive and all of that. But you're going to have to learn how to look women directly in their eyes and say what you need to say about your job or whatever it is. You're going to have to be comfortable going into those same cubicles or having the meeting or having a discussion with the women who might not like you, with the women who sit there and gossip about you. The only way to combat that and to overpower that in the workplace is to get into their space. There have been many a times, and I know that might sound weird, but in the workplace, that is where, if the women, they're there for money too. So they have no choice. Like, you have no choice but to be around them. They have no choice but to deal with you. So knowing that they don't like you, you need to come into their space more often and ask those questions. They're there to work and make them work. As a woman, as a feminine woman, as a confident but assertive woman in the workplace, you have to show them that you're still like, you know what they're doing and you don't care. You're there to get your money. You're not going to let anything distract you from doing what you came to do. And I think a lot of times, you might not like to hear this, but a lot of times you let jealous people and bullies win by just tapping out, by just leaving. In your real life, in your everyday life, yes, leave. In my personal life, if somebody rubs me the wrong way, I'm not saying like the first time interaction, miscommunication. I mean, if somebody's toxic, jealous, negative, I just know it. I'm getting away from them in my everyday life. But when it comes to work, in this time, just realistically, a lot of people cannot afford to just up and run every time somebody rubs them the wrong way. So you're going to have to show yourself to be a confident but assertive feminine woman, and don't let them run you away from your money. No, especially if you want to be there. Now, if you don't want to be there, then leave. But no, don't give them that much power. That's just the way I see it. And I would tell my daughter that, just because some girls are at the job, they're talking about you. Yeah, they're talking amongst themselves, but they never came to you. And normally, bullies and jealous women, they never will come directly to you. It's always some kind of passive aggressive nonsense. And if you're able to deal with that while you collect your coin until you find something else, do that. Don't let them run you out of there. I just had to say that because I see a lot of people saying, I had to quit a job. I had to quit a job. I had to quit a job. I don't post these videos so that we can run from these people. Like, it's not like that. I'm sorry if I gave the impression. We're not afraid of jealous, envious people. We're not afraid of the bullies. None of that kind of stuff. Like, no, 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 no. We recognize them for what they are, but they have no power. No, 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 no. My sordid views. At my age of 50, I've lost a lot of compassion for women in general. And I understand how you would, because women seem to be, not all women, but a lot of women, they seem to be getting more savage, more mean spirited, more like bully, savage like in their mentality. I've seen a lot of women saying, I just don't be bothered with women. I don't like to deal with women. Well, that's not completely true because you're here. So it's just a certain type of woman that you don't feel like being bothered with, and that's okay. On this channel, all of you who interact with me, we interact with one another. You're okay with women. You just don't like a certain type of woman. You're being selective, which is wise. But yes, back to the original topic. When women try to humiliate you, when people try to humiliate you, they even try to dig into your past to drum up something that might not even be there. Jealous people are the masters at miscommunication, misunderstanding, and it's all because they want to misunderstand you. Some people who don't already like you, or they just have, this feel some kind of way about you, they will always look to misunderstand you in some way. I did a video about how they take everything personal, and people who are jealous and envious of you, they seek to take everything you say personally. They want you to feel like you're doing something to them directly, even though you're not. You're just being yourself. You could be minding your business, having a conversation with someone that you actually genuinely enjoy talking to, but because you're not talking to them, they will take that personally. And once again, on the flip side of that, if somebody feels so threatened and uncomfortable by the fact that you're not talking to them, your presence, your personality holds weight with them. And that is a compliment. As twisted as it might seem, if somebody gets offended from the fact that you're quiet or you only talk to certain people in the office or, in class or wherever, your presence carries weight. And that's something that, it's like, wow, little old me, like I didn't speak to you and you felt some kind of way. My goodness, I didn't know I was that important. Well, hello, you know? I'm just being silly, but really, it's like some of the things that women get so tripped out about, and some sassy men too, is very weird. Very weird. Thank you for this perspective, a certain type of woman. Absolutely, because I see a lot of women saying, I don't like women. That's why I just stay by myself. But you all are interacting with me. I see a lot of you interacting with each other. It's like your tribe. You want to interact with your tribe. I remember seeing I don't know if it was on TikTok or Facebook or one of those, where a lady was saying, I'm too rich, I'm too hood for the bougie girls, and I'm too bougie for the hood girls. No, she said, I'm too bougie for the hood girls, and I'm too hood for the bougie girls. There you go. She said, I'm somewhere in the middle. And I don't know why, but I just identified with that because I don't really take myself to be hood, but I have moments because of, I'm from New Jersey, South Jersey. And I have moments where, some of the more like, up in the air kind of women, they may look like whatever because they're very, don't have personality. And you can still be feminine and have a personality. But then some women who look at you as if like you think you're better and all that. And, while we recognize these things, we don't worry about that stuff, but it's just funny, just the dynamics and the psychology of womanhood, if you might call it that. That's really what this is. Like the older you get, I know for myself, it's like you recognize the psychology of womanhood, the dynamics between different women and how they interact. And, I find it fascinating. At one point I was studying psychology in school when I went to college, but I just decided, I can't be that deep into other people's head. But I actually kind of like it. I kind of like it. I mind my own business and stay out of the way. Many jealous people want to know what I am thinking. Yeah, that people assume things. People like to assume, if you're a woman that's quiet and you're, around other people, but you tend to be more quiet, then people like to assume that there's something wrong with you, or they like to assume that, you're judging people. I've heard that before, both in a joking way and in a serious way. I've been told, oh, you're judging. I can tell you're judging me. You're judging me. I'm listening to what you're saying. If you feel judged by me, that means that you value my opinion and I appreciate you. Like, that's not my problem if you feel judged. If you feel judged, that's some kind of conviction kicking in. People are weird. Men often turning women against another. See, only to have better, more options because they're insecurities or on the DL. Yes, men. Now, those kind of men, I have to say it how it's coming to me. I've only witnessed those kind of men in certain settings, and those are more of those hood guys, around the way guy, where they have that kind of time to put women against one another and they're trying to orchestrate, beefs and all this stuff. That's that hood rat stuff. I thank God, I'm not around those kind of men anymore that do that kind of stuff, but I'm very familiar with men who have that kind of time to be in women's issues. That's just like a little too dainty for me. Like, you should be working or building or doing something. Stay out of women's issues. I don't like when men try to get into the affairs of women. Now, I'm not saying a man that's trying to look out for his wife and make sure things don't go too far. I mean men who really have the time to like sass other women, and men who try to humiliate women out of their jealousy. You have some men, if you get a little too much notoriety, a little too much education, you're doing a little too many things in the world, he'll try to dig deep down to remind you of what you used to be. Oh, you working at the place now, but you used to be a cashier. Don't forget, when I met you, you was doing this. Yeah, when I met you, I was doing this, and now I'm doing better because I'm done with you, or I'm about done with you. It's like men, they do stuff like that too. Not all men. I feel like I have to say that on the internet, even though that goes without saying. Not all men. I'm talking about jealous men, envious men who live in their insecurities. They love to humiliate women also when they perceive them as doing better than themselves, or they were able to accomplish something or attain something without them. Men get yes, I see your comments all the time. Well, men are jealous too. Sometimes men can be worse. Absolutely. Men can be just as bad, if not worse, than women when it comes to jealousy and trying to humiliate women, especially if you've had involvement with that man and the situation wasn't the best and you level up in some way, you do better than him. Absolutely, men will be jealous. And then the less talked about dynamic is dealing with men that are your friends, men that are family members who seem to be jealous of other women, which I find that very weird because to me, the feminine and the masculine complement one another. So I don't even think we're like on the same page when it comes to certain things, unless it's in the workplace or business. But for a man to be so upset and irritated with a woman leveling up, you would think that they would find that fascinating and a compliment to them. But a lot of men are not like that. A lot of men look at women as if, okay, I'm only, especially in relationships, toxic relationships, okay, I'm only going so far, so I expect you to stay at that same level. Because if you go any higher, you are now shedding a light on his insecurity. A lot of jealous men think that way. They think you doing better highlights their miscomings, their lack of motivation, their lack of ambition. Yeah, jealousy with men can get a lot deeper than just, looks and, what you have. It can be a little bit of that too, but sometimes it can really cut deeper as into like who you are as a person. And let me look at some of the comments. That is so true. I'm so quiet and people always try to humble me, but I'm already humble. LOLY. Because of that, it's like the more quiet you are and the more you try to stay out of things, sometimes depending on where you are, the more people try to bring you into things. And for me, I say like sometimes you have to have a temporary shift where you allow people to see a side of yourself that might not be your predominant side, but you still have to shift into that mode for a moment so that they know, oh, it's there. It's just not what I lead with. I know in many jobs, when I start my jobs, I'm always quiet for the most part. I'm filling people out, trying to get to know people. But then they soon realize, like, oh, she's not that quiet. She's not this, that, It's like you kind of have to show people a little bit of that, side of yourself that's like, oh, I talk, I speak, I respond. I saw what you did, but I don't lead with that, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's not like you're trying to prove yourself, but we are like diamonds in the rough. We are a sheep among wolves in the spiritual community, we say. So sometimes you do have to pop out and show, I'm sorry, forgive me if I have Kendrick Lamar references because I like that song. Not Like Us. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. The Grammys, I don't know, watch the Grammys, but I watched that clip of him winning the award and Taylor Swift dancing because that absolutely tickled me. And I like the song. It's a bop. They not like us. They not like, I'm around the house. I'm like, get it out my head. But okay, I digress. I like that song. And sometimes because they're not like us, we have to pop out and show them for a minute. And not in a ratchet way. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying know how to match people's energy in the moment, but not on a continuous basis, because that can be very draining and it will deplete your feminine energy. And we can't give people that kind of power. But it's okay to speak up and say, I don't think I heard you. What did you say? I thought I heard you say something. And I guarantee you, they'll be like, oh, nothing. It's just like that sometimes. You know how women can be. You know how some sassy acting men can be. Move accordingly. That's what I say. Facts. I am grateful. Well, let me sip my tea. Facts. Marie Amour. Facts. I am grateful that my husband is supportive of all my endeavors. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like the man you're with, he doesn't have to be, taking over the world. He doesn't have to be like a go-getter Elon Musk type trying to take over the world. But what a man who really says he loves and care about you, he shouldn't be a hater. He should at least support you in what you do. I know, and be open, ladies, to criticism from your man, especially when it's coming from a good place, but he should support you. He's supposed to. And if he has a genuine concern and he's a masculine, wise man, he knows how to speak to you in a way that shows that he's genuinely concerned and not a hater. My husband, I can tell him because I have different ideas like every other week. And I could tell him, I don't tell him all of my ideas, but sometimes I'm excited about something and I can tell him something like, I think I came up with a plan to send a rocket ship to the moon. And he'll just be like, okay, let me know what kind of fuel you need. And we'll get it done. Just let me know. You need me to be here? Are you going to leave? Like, what do you need me to do? I'll take off work. He's like that, So at least you might not be doing the same thing I'm doing, but at least support me or stay out the way, It's that kind of thing. Because men and women, I think for us, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, you don't want your man all in your business anyway and everything you're doing. I don't think I could do this productively if my husband was all in my business. He knows what I'm doing. He's doing his thing. He's at work doing what he's supposed to do. I say that respectfully. He's doing what he's called to do and what he knows to do as a man. And I'm here doing what I do. Like, I don't need him all in my business. So he's aware. And when I bring things up, he listens to me. But yeah, your man shouldn't be a hater. That's the point. Your man should not be a hater. If you're with somebody and you feel like you have to hold back your good news, you can't really say too much. And as I've said in previous videos, you don't want to give them too much detail anyway, especially with the money part. But with anybody, not just your man, but if you feel like you have to hold back your good news more times than not, then you might be dealing with somebody who has a little bit of resentment, a little bit of jealousy toward you. And if you can't just genuinely be happy for what you're doing, that's not a good space to be in. Like, you got to hide your accomplishments in order to coddle their feelings. No, that's not okay. And now I'm not saying on the flip side, if your man just lost his job or something went bad, that's not the time to say, honey, I made $1 million on whatever. You don't want to rub things in his face. Use discretion, because you wouldn't want anybody to do that to you. Things just went south and now they're in your face bragging about stuff. Don't be tacky. That's tacky behavior. But in general, when you're dealing with somebody who says they care about you, friend, relationship, whoever, they can handle your good news, even in small doses at least. Energy speaks loudly. Absolutely. Yeah. And for me, while I like it, I don't expect somebody, I accomplished something great. I don't expect somebody to be jumping up and down. Like, nobody's going to be as enthused about your thing as you are. It's just not human nature. However, if somebody's in your corner, they will support you. Once again, we don't need marching bands and all of that, but at least be happy for me genuinely, and that's the thing. A lot of people who are jealous and envious, they don't know how to be happy for another person. They don't know how to be joyful about something that doesn't pertain to them. They're a little bit narcissistic. People who are jealous and envious, oftentimes, they're a little bit narcissistic, where they think everything has to be about them. And if it's not, they feel some kind of way. And see, people who are genuinely kind, genuinely friendly, and care about other people, we can vibe out with anybody. You accomplish something, we accomplished it. We feel like we accomplished it. We're celebrating with you. If you're doing something to celebrate and you invite me, I'll be there with bells on, because I clap for everybody. Now, I'm not saying people who do you wrong and stuff like that. It's human nature to not care about people who do you wrong. But that's when spiritually you have to come in and ask God to help you to care a little. But yeah, people who try to humiliate you and stuff like that, it's natural to not care. And when somebody mistreats you, and this is another thing, women often think that we have to be, our way of being feminine is to overlook things and act like they don't exist, to be passive. Absolutely not. And the only way you notice that somebody's trying to use humiliation tactics against you, or trying to invite you to different places or get you around different people that are going to make you try to feel bad or look bad, is when you can recognize it. Facts. You and your mate should be on the same team and should want each other to win. Absolutely. Like, I can't see being in a relationship with somebody who is not on my side, like who's not for me. That's very weird. And when I see these different posts about, men, they don't even want to make their wives or their girlfriends a cup of coffee. They barely want to open the door. Women, they don't want to make a sandwich. They don't want to do anything. I'm like, I don't understand that kind of rationale in a relationship, because if it's like that, why are we together? Like, I don't understand that. Like, if you are a hater toward the things I do and I don't really like what you're doing, then what are we doing? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. And TikTok kind of highlighted that for me, of the he really doesn't like you kind of thing. And you can't really judge a whole relationship based on a TikTok clip. However, when a woman, like, I saw a clip of a girl who was supposed to be working on New Year's Eve, and she surprised her boyfriend at a party. She came down the steps and he looked at her like he saw a ghost. Now, the initial response of him being surprised, I'll give him that. But After about like 5 to 10 seconds, I'll give you 10 seconds of being surprised that she's there. Why are you looking at her like she ruined your entire night? That's very weird. That right there screams that he doesn't really like you. Like, I don't understand that. So many women, and I know why it happens, it's because women overlook those red flags in men because they want a man just to say they have a man. Having a man just to say you have a man is not good enough. Like, I don't understand that. I don't. So true. The less I care about others' business, the more they are trying to catch me, give me troubles. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like and those kind of things, like I said, you can't really, you know, help that. Some people are going to think what they want to think. You can't really help that. Yep, I'm just looking at some of your comments. What as of lately, I posted one video about I posted so many videos, my goodness. You know what? Let me look at my phone to look through my list. I have over 1,000 videos. I'm like, my goodness. Um, Let me see. If my mom says little slick comments to me, trying to bring me down, how am I supposed to act accordingly to my own mom? How old are you, T? That will give you your answer. These days, I keep things to myself. Too many people, Cariella. These days, I keep things to myself. Too many people I was clapping for switched up. My own mother do this. For the longest, I thought it was normal behavior because how I grew up. Yes, and it's sad. I saw a lot of your comments where you said, how do I respond when this is my own mother? My own mother does this. She says little slick things to me. That is so unfortunate that you're going through that. And I have to say, personally, I have not experienced that with my own mother because I didn't have much of a relationship as an adult with my mom because she passed away when I was 19. So I didn't really have that adult relationship with my mother. But I did have a stepmother. And for the most part, our relationship was okay. She was my stepmother. So of course it wasn't, as close as motherhood, but she was okay. But I would say, as far as your parent giving you a hard time and having jealous, envious behavior towards you, I do know of someone, a friend of mine, whose mother, she tends to sometimes have those little bit of ways. And what she does, she just distance herself from her. You don't want to disrespect your mother. I don't believe in that. I have to say it how it is for me. I don't believe in blatantly disrespecting your parents. I don't believe in, I'm going to tell them this, I'm going to tell them no. In the heat of confrontation, if they're coming at you, then of course you're responding to what they're saying. But I don't believe in just right out disrespecting your parents, even though they are being the way they are. I believe in getting away from them and leaving them to where they are and in their miserable state. My father, as I spoke of, he's still alive. I love him dearly, but he was very aggressive for the most part of my life, of my childhood. The way he spoke, the way he talked to us, the way he, kind of demeaning language because of how we used to live when I was with my mother. And I got over that real quick. And you know how I did? I got away from him. I got away. I got out the house. So if my mom says slick things, let me see, you're 23. Okay, T. So at 23, you should be looking to be on your own. And I just have to say it like that. If your mother is giving you that kind of a hard time and you can't deal with it, you should be looking to be on your own. Because unfortunately, if you're still under the same roof as the person who gave birth to you and they're taking care of everything and it's their house, they have that over you and there's really nothing you can do with it. But in the meantime, keep yourself busy. What I used to do, I would just only come home when I went to sleep. So pretty much this is how my day went. I would go to school during the day, go to work at night, or sometimes when I'm off from work, I would be with my then boyfriend, now husband, and then I would come home later in the evening, like around 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, go to sleep when I knew everybody else was sleeping or at least kind of calm, and then breathe right back out. That's the way I dealt with dealing with a parent who was very abrasive, who was very toxic, who made life a little bit miserable for me. Did everything he was supposed to do as a father, but he was very harsh. His words were very cutting. And I just couldn't deal with that after a while. I disrespected. Yeah, I was a teenager. So when my dad came at me, I came back at him. We talked how we talk. Cussing was a second language in my household, absolutely. And I had to ask God to forgive me years later for responding that way. I know it might seem weird, but just the spiritual side of me, I felt convicted. And I'm like, okay, I had to ask God to forgive me. But yeah, when I was a teenager, oh yeah, I gave as good as I got. I gave to my dad. He cussed me out. I cussed him clean out. I mean, fights, everything. Not me physically fighting with my dad, but my brothers. They had fights, with my dad. And what's weird, when you're in a toxic household with a parent that might have some kind of substance abuse, like alcohol abuse, after you actually have that confrontation with them and you cuss them clean out, suddenly it's like they have a newfound respect for you or something. It's weird. And I knew that was toxic. That's the reason why I had to get out. Like, you're not going to stress me. So T, it might not be the answer you were looking for, but if you're 23 years old and still living with your mom and she's that bad, it's time for you to get out of there. Yep. I'm in college and my roommate is younger than me and she is Latina. Her and her other women are passive aggressive towards me, and I believe it's because she thinks I'm well off because I don't have to work. That's her problem. Beauty within. Yeah, that's her problem. If she thinks that you're well off because you don't have to work, then that's her problem. Um, it's not your job to try to figure out why she's treating you this way. Once again, she's your roommate, and college roommates, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with that because I didn't have any roommates. I didn't commute and all that stuff. So I'm not too familiar with that. But again, the same principle of not being around them so often, you can do that. Come back to your dormitory or your apartment whenever you need to lay down and go to sleep. And when you are there, if you're studying or whatever, keep it cordial and just stay in your common space, but be busy with other things, Men too, absolutely. Thought jealous behavior was normal too. Something was wrong. My interests, my personality, my looks were not acceptable. My aunt told me when I was 11 that I would be and change something positive, laughing at her pettiness. Oh yeah, your looks and all that. Family members, especially those bully, jealous, mean aunties and cousins and all of them, if you deal with that, thankfully I didn't have that too much from my biological or from my blood, but I did have it from some people that weren't related to me that were like family. And when I was younger, I was like maybe 129, 130, and I have more hips than backside. So the issue was that you don't have no butt. It's like I was always shamed for not having a backside. In the Black community, having a big backside is like some kind of rite of passage. It's some kind of like, trophy you're wearing on your body. And if you don't have it, they put you down, especially in the late 90s, the early 2000s. If you don't have a big bottom, my goodness, it's like you're an outcast. And I was outcasted because I did not have a big backside. I didn't have a big butt. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And you got a flat butt. I'm like, and for a while, that was really bothering me. Something that I can't control was really bothering me because they always said it. And I'm like, this is not normal. But the people who were saying those things to me, they were on some kind of substance. They were not doing what they were supposed to do. They were normally chaotic energy type of women. They were problematic, always having issues. They didn't have any stability, and people really didn't like them. But yet they always had something to say about people's looks and butt. And they didn't look that great. I don't judge nobody's looks, but I'm just saying it's normally the people that don't look the greatest who judge the most. I just have to say that. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To some people, I might not look the greatest to them. To me, I look beautiful, and that's all that matters. But I know some people, a lot of times, the ones who judge the most, they look a little rough and they don't even realize it. And their personality just adds to how they look. That's just my opinion. Just be careful with your roommate and keep your eyes open. Yes, anybody who can offer her, I forget your name, dear, I'm so sorry, but the woman who was asking about how to deal with a roommate, if you're more familiar with that issue and you think you can offer her some kind of advice to help her, please put it in the comment section. I wish I had more to offer, but my go-to is always kind of to just get away from them if you can, unless it's in the workplace. I love that, Keisha. Compassion is something I'm growing into. I too keep to myself more. The veil was lifted from me last year after decades of allowing friends. Oh, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I read that already. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's best keeping to yourself. Oftentimes, for me, for the most part, I keep to myself. I have a certain few people that I talk to, but most of the people that I mainly talk to are inside of my household. And it's for that reason, because I don't have time for the negativity. I don't have time for the slick remarks. I don't have time for trying to tiptoe around what I'm saying because you're so insecure. And this is another reason why I think a lot of women decide to forego female relationships or friendships, and they don't want to deal with the humiliation that comes with sometimes being friends with other women. It's because you always have to tiptoe around somebody's insecurities. A lot of women, because some women are so jealous and so envious in nature, a lot of women who are not like that find themselves having to tiptoe around the feelings of insecure women. When women are threatened by you, when they are jealous of you, when they feel like they look bad in your presence, you always find yourself having to tiptoe around how they feel. And as feminine women, of course, a lot of what we do and how we speak, it's based on feelings, but it's also just pure femininity, wisdom, and good old common sense, and good old knowing how to just take it easy. And women who are often more like bully mentality, jealous, mean spirited, they don't know how to just relax. They don't know how to just take it easy. They don't really know how to enjoy the company of other women, other people in general. They're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that's why they always have to keep something in the arsenal to hold against somebody just in case they come against them. It's like women who are always on the defense are very draining to be around. Women who always feel like they need to defend themselves against you for no reason are very draining to deal with. And that's where that humiliation comes in. A woman who doesn't feel good about herself, she might see something about you that's so minute, so minor. Like, oh, you got that lint on your sweater. That been sitting there. I wonder if so and so saw it. Don't feel bad. Have you ever have you ever had a woman say that, oh, you don't need to feel bad about that? Who said it? I remember. I'm gonna give you a real life example. I forget exactly. I know who it was. I'm not gonna say, but I had a job. I took a job working at a hotel, and they automatically assume I'm not saying this title to put it down. They automatically assume I was a housekeeper. Nothing wrong with being a housekeeper at a hotel. I'm not saying it for that reason. But she automatically assumed I was a housekeeper. When I said I now work at a hotel, they automatically assume I was a housekeeper. Housekeepers, they work and it's a dirty job. You're cleaning up after people. You can be, scrubbing toilets, all that stuff. So to some people who are finding a reason to kind of look down on you, they look at that as like the bottom of the barrel job. Housekeepers get paid very well, especially in big hotels. So I'm just saying that. I'm trying to make the point of what this person was doing. Nothing wrong with being a housekeeper if that's what you're doing and you're making a decent amount of money. But for me, she automatically assumed I was a housekeeper when I said I was working at a hotel. And she perceives housekeeping being the bottom of the barrel mentality position. I know this because of how the person is. So when I told them what I actually did at the hotel, they looked taken aback, like, oh, you're doing that? Yeah, I'm doing that. And it was like unbelief, like, you're doing that. Why would I not be doing that? Why would you assume that I would just be doing what you look at as the bottom of the barrel job? Like, yeah, this is what I do. But you have people, because they want to see that, they don't want to see you in a light that makes them feel uncomfortable. Like if they feel like they have one up over you because you're the one that they, makes them feel good about their little life. And when you start doing better, they look at you like, I got to find some way to like keep her to a level where I feel comfortable. It's a very weird dynamic, but if you dealt with toxic women who think that way, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not enough for you to, okay, you work in the retail store. No, I'm the CEO of the retail store. And they're like, oh, okay. That's a weird. I'm sorry. I might be being goofy, but you get the point I'm making. Yes, it can be very challenging. Here too. Never knock the way someone make their money, the nerve of some people. Absolutely. Like, even if I was a housekeeper, so what? Me personally, I was a housekeeper. I think I've had a whole bunch of jobs. I had a housekeeping job for like a month and a half at a motel. And I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I like the fact that I got to work by myself and just throw through different rooms. And I was finding a lot of stuff too. This is a little sidebar. I'm working in hotels and housekeeping and all that. I found a lot of stuff. I remember I found like money, jewelry. People left whole cases of liquor. And back then I was kind of sort of still like drinking wine sometimes and other things. And I'm like, this is not open. Wow. Okay. Look what I got. Like finding treasure. But I couldn't do it. After a month, like month and a half, I like what it did for my body because my arms were looking good. I was slimming down, doing housekeeping. That's work. But I was like, no, that's not for me. I can't do it. I'm tired. But that is not the point. You know that's not the point, but I'm just telling you. You never feel ashamed of what you do if you like it. If that's for you, you do that. I would have to dim my light with my adult daughter and mom when I left them started to slander me. And the mother-daughter jealousy, I will never truly understand. My daughter, I want my daughter to be 10 times better than me. I want her. She's spoken to me about being a graphic designer, as I have mentioned. She's even talked about being a music producer. She makes her own short stories. She has a YouTube channel. She's a creative. And I want her to be 10 times better than me, her and my son. So I don't understand that whole mother-daughter jealousy. Like for me, the way I see it, if my daughter wins, that means I won as a parent, that I raised up somebody that can accomplish something like that. I would never take credit for their hard work, but it's like I gave birth to somebody that did that. You know, they're like that, their character, not even just what they accomplish, but just their character. I don't understand mother-daughter jealousy at all. TSA at Audrey. Meant to say me and not. We have a term of endearment for educated girls from the hood. Bugetto. I love that. Bugetto. Absolutely. Educated girls from the hood. Yeah, you are not a product of your surroundings. Just because you grew up in the hood or you're from there, that doesn't mean that, you know, you have to wear that title for the rest of your life. That just means, in my opinion, you do have an added benefit. I mean, being street smart, unfortunately, in the world we live in, that is important. And I don't think you should glorify street mentality, but to be aware, you know, you walking past somebody and you see them too close to each other doing something, you already know what's happening. Walk across the street, move out the way. You don't want to see what's happening. Like having that kind of awareness, I think that's okay. If you grew up in a neighborhood or a place where you never saw those kind of things happening, God bless you. But if you're aware of street things, I think you have a double benefit to yourself. Yeah, I don't like the idea that, you know, I wouldn't have chose to live in the environment where I was for most of my childhood, but I'm kind of happy in a way that I did because now I'm aware of certain things that I might not be aware of. I'm kind of like more hip to like the game people try to play because I was around it a lot of times, you know? So it's like a double-edged sword, you know, Bugetto. I'm going to use that. Bugetto, absolutely. I'm not ghetto, but I'm aware of Bugetto things. Absolutely. It was mad difficult. The limitations of her lifestyle. Yeah. But yeah, people try to humiliate you. They'll look into things that you did as a child to try to humiliate you. You know, if you did something, you know, when I was a teenager, I was kind of calm. I didn't do a lot of major crazy things, but there was one major crazy thing I did for a while. And I'm not going to put it here on the internet because, you know, my dad still can have access to the internet. Family can still have access to the internet. But when I was a teenager, I did one major thing that if my dad would have found out, it would have put my life in jeopardy. But he thought he was slick, but I was slicker. And that's the reason why my children will not get away with much because I did much. But yeah, I did one thing and I'm like, man, he never knew. That's crazy. But you know, certain things you go through when you're younger or you do, people find out, they'll try to bring up the things you did when you were a teenager and try to use it against you. You could be a full-grown woman with a husband, children, grandchildren. And because your life now is really great, because you're excelling now, They'll dig so deep into the arsenal to see what you did when you were a toddler. Like that, it's that level of petty that some jealous, envious people will go to. It's just weird. I've had people use against me what I did when I was a teenager. And now, with my son being the same age that I was when I did it, my daughter actually 17. Like, that's weird. What are your thoughts about women who refer to women who are their own age as sweetie or baby when they aren't close friends? So that I actually witnessed that the other day. A coworker younger than myself said that, and I don't know. I don't get easily triggered by little things like that. To me, it's like, whatever. But I do notice like sweetie, baby, honey, dearie. Like I didn't know we got that close. But especially on a continuous basis. Now, me, I'll say dear and stuff like that. But every time I talk to you, it's not sweetie, honey, baby. And then you can tell when a woman is saying those things in a condescending way. When women try to say those things to you or put those titles on you in a condescending way, it's their way of keeping you in your place, the way I see it. Some people might look at it like, you're reading too much into that. No, some women who are trying to keep you in your place, they're, oh dear, I appreciate you. Oh, this, because I've dealt with one like that who tried to keep you in your place. It's like the mother-child response. They're trying to mother you to keep you in your place. Oh, sweetie, oh dear. And I'm like, I wonder if she knows I'm almost 40 years old, the way she keeps talking to me. I don't understand. Why every time? I'm not saying once in a while in a conversation or you're talking to somebody, it can be cute. I think when women that are genuinely friends call each other little pet names like sweetie, honey, pud, I love that, shug. I'm called shug often, which I don't understand. Even my husband calls me shug. I'm like, okay. But it's cute. But when a woman is doing it in a condescending way, fake. They fake. Julie Evans, absolutely. It's fake behavior. Okay, sweetie, you talk to me no other time, but then we do interact. Sweetie, baby, honey, dear. No, that's that condescension. No. And you can correct them. I've corrected people before multiple times when they said babe and I told them my name. Said no. They'll say babe or sweetie or honey, and I'll say my name. Nope. And you just correct them. If you're uncomfortable with it, you can correct them. Don't be afraid. I've had people, my name is and they like to add E. So let's say my name is, how can I say it? And eventually I'll say my name. Some of you who are on here probably already know my name, but let's say your name is, what other name can I think of? Like your name is Keisha, and they try to put the emphasis on the E to try to make it sound like your name might be Kaisha. And they say Kiosha or something. They try to ghettoify it so much. I can't stand when people try to like put the extra E on things to try to make it seem like more, what they do. I can't articulate it right now, but it'll come to me. Thank you for sharing. Thank you very much, TD. I appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for sharing all of these wisdom nuggets and gems. God bless you. God bless you as well. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, it's like it's condescension to summarize what you were getting at with the honey, sweetie, dairy pie kind of thing. Nothing wrong. In this community, if we are women who are genuinely for each other and we share a common interest, I should be able to call you dear or honey, but I respect you if you don't want me to call you that just because that's your preference. But you can tell when somebody's doing it as a term of endearment or if somebody's doing it to kind of like, sister girl, you or put you in your place. I would never do that. Not even to a woman that's younger than me. I respect you. And especially if you're acting like with wisdom and you're actually like a woman that has like, you know how to carry yourself. You have class and decorum. You're not trying to be shady. No, you can say sister to me. You could say sweetie. I appreciate all of that. But if you're doing it in a condescending way, a woman who's wise, she will read into that. And either she's going to address it or she's going to get away from you. Like one or the other, Me personally, I don't have time for those things. I really don't. It's like if you try to be a little condescending to me too many times, I just don't have time for it. I'm at the point in life where I just walk away. I just cut you off. I just don't be bothered. I'm like, there's more where that came from, That's just the way I see it. Doing too much. Absolutely. Doing too much. Like, sweetie, baby, dearie pie, every other sentence. No, you know what you're doing. Exactly. The intent, Keisha. Absolutely. Yeah, it's the intent. Like, if we're friends or we're always, talking to one another and that's just our way, then I get it. But somebody who barely talks to you and they're calling you that. And since I have a question for you all now, how do you feel about somebody calling you ma'am and you're under the age of 40? Or you're under the age of 50, let's say under the age of 50, and somebody calls you ma'am. How do you feel about it? I'm just curious. Since you asked me, I'm going to ask you. I'll tell you how I feel about it, but I just want to see some of your responses. My lips are getting dry. Put on. It's all about intent, too. Because you don't want to walk around being the kind of woman that's reading into everything. Like, everything is sus, everything is suspect. But like I said, as women, we have a right to not let other people play in our face. It's just like, that's just what it is. Like, you don't have to subject yourself to people who are not on your side or mean you harm or just there to try to make you their entertainment or try to humiliate you in some way. You don't have to tolerate that. Respect, absolutely. I think it's respectful, honestly, but it would be how they say it. Absolutely. So many young people are so disrespectful. I appreciate it. Doesn't bother me. Yeah, absolutely. And I see it the same way. I think I've been called ma'am ever since I was like 30. And I think it's because of how I carry myself. And in the beginning, because of how other women responded, I kind of started taking it like it was an insult because it's like, okay, I'm only 30 something. I'm only 30. Why are you calling me ma'am? And then when I realized, especially with my upbringing earlier on, because my mother is from the South, calling people ma'am, calling women ma'am, that's a normal thing where I'm from. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Yes, sir. It's a sign of respect. And for me to be called ma'am at such a young age, I just looked at it as I'm carrying something that the average woman is not carrying. And it's not to put down other women. It's just to say that I'm different. And it's nothing wrong with that. If you're different, if you have unique traits and characters about yourself that warrants people to address you like with the utmost respect, I think that is a compliment. I'm not going to look at that like, somehow they're disrespecting me or calling me old because they're referring to me as ma'am. Like, no, I think that shows that they respect me and that I'm carrying myself in a way that reflects that I should be called ma'am. I'd rather they call me ma'am than call me a four-legged dog. I'd rather them call me ma'am than, hey, you girl, or bae, or whatever, like some other dumb, for me, that's silly, phrase, or just call me by my name. I don't mind it, I guess, because I'm no longer a spring chicken, but tone and context does matter. Absolutely, TSA, absolutely. Very Southern, absolutely typical island. Trying to make you feel old, the intent matters. Are they trying to be respectful or are they trying to insult you? Absolutely. But once again, Keisha Hayes, the intent matters, but sometimes you can just take it at face value. If you receive it as a compliment, then just receive it as a compliment. For me, and this might sound, I don't know how it's going to sound to some people, but when somebody calls me ma'am, it shows that I'm different from the others. Like I'm worthy of respect from you. You're calling me ma'am, like you're not cussing, overly cursing in my presence. You're excuse me, miss, those kind of things. I appreciate that. I'd rather you say that than to look at me and say, hey, let me ask you, hey, no, I'm different. Yes, ma'am. That's fine. No problem. And I never want somebody like, I don't tell somebody you have to call me yes, ma'am, or no, I never say that. They just do it. And I'm like, okay. I have older men, say yes, ma'am to me. I have older women have said yes, ma'am to me. And I don't tell them to say that. They just do. I've had coworkers calling me miss and then my name. I don't know. I guess it's just something how I carry myself. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm different than the others. And I'm not putting down the others. I'm just different. When they say madam, maybe quickly correct them. Some women get mad being man because it makes them feel old. Yeah, and they feel old. And I don't know if it was like Jackie Ina or one of those other influencers that been around for a long time, got upset because people were calling her auntie. And I'm like, I like her. I do like her content. This is not putting her down whatsoever. I love her content. She's not relatable. She shows a lifestyle that could be. I absolutely love that. But she got offended because people were calling her auntie. And I'm like, well, I mean, you are a little bit in the auntie category. I'm in the auntie category. I'm not ashamed of that. I am an auntie to many, many girls and a few boys. I'm not ashamed of that. I'm auntie, absolutely. I'm not. I don't know. Like I think women are, because of the programming we have in society today, and women are so afraid to get older. They don't want to age gracefully. Not saying you can't work on your appearance. When I get 80, I want to look the same way. If I can, I'm going to try to keep it looking the way it is. That's not the point. The point is that women look at getting older as if that's a negative, and getting older means that you're still living. I mean, I don't understand. And being called auntie or ma'am, don't do it obsessively, or excessively. Excessively. Yes, don't do it excessively because like Keisha Hayes, I believe, said it's intent. But I have no issue with any of that. I mean, I don't get it. There's other things to worry about. I don't know. Julie, I'm a young ma'am, started in my 30s. Yeah, I got ma'am to death by the cashier. I was like, okay, but why isn't she ma'aming the other women? So, I mean, that might be something, Miss Henry. I mean, that might be something. It's all, and like I said, if you don't like being called ma'am or you have a problem with it, say something. For me, whatever. I don't care. Whatever. Call me ma'am. Yes. How can I help you? What can you do for me? Would you like to get me some tea? Thank you very much, sweetie. Thank you, baby. I appreciate it. Whatever you want to do for me, ma'am will take it. Absolutely. Getting old is a blessing. Absolutely. Absolutely. We kind of veered off a little bit from humiliation, but I like this conversation. And yeah, I mean, women who try to humiliate you, they even try to shame you in that way. Like, somebody says you don't look your age and stuff like that. Oh, she look every bit of 39. She look every bit of 50. It's like, okay, what's the point of you saying that? They said I look younger than what I look. So what does it matter to you? Apparently I look good. Otherwise you wouldn't feel the need to say that. Sometimes women who are jealous and try to humiliate you, they do it in the most weirdest ways. It's really weirdo energy. When people are admiring you and when you see it, especially you see this the most when people are admiring you or they have something nice to say about you, women who are jealous and envious, they can't contain themselves. It's like they have to combat the positive with something negative. It's just always something. This is so therapeutic. Well, I am glad that you are enjoying this conversation. I'm enjoying talking to you all too. It's just a girl chat. I might change the title to girl chat, Diana Sovachuk. I have seen old people look way younger than they are. I think it's because they are positive and happy people. Absolutely. Look, I think the way you carry yourself and the way you live your life and the things that you feed yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, all that has an impact on how you look as a woman, the kind of lifestyle you lead. I can tell you for myself, for a while, I used to think that there's something wrong with me. I have some kind of medical issues. I'm so tired. I always feel this way. And then I realized you work too much. That's the problem. And I noticed that when I'm on like long stretches of not working, I don't work as much as I used to. But earlier on, my goodness, I was working like this because that was my thing. That's what I did. But I would look at myself and like, I look worn down. I look so tired. And it's because I was doing too much. And a lot of people, they frown at the whole soft lifestyle for women, and only a hater, only jealous women would be upset with a woman for valuing her looks, her lifestyle, her mental and her physical, and not wanting to do so much. Jealous women, they very much want you to be a workhorse, a work mule. They want you to look ran down. They want you to look, what they say, down bad. And when you're a woman who values yourself and you realize like, no, there's nothing wrong with me. I just work too much. I'm going to learn how to relax. I'm not going to let people stress me. Money is important, but I know I can make it another way. When you get into that kind of mindset, yeah, you're going to have haters. You're going to have people, they'll try to humiliate you because you don't work so much. You know, I'm sure there are people, I'm on YouTube right now, not at work. I'm working in a way, I'm working, but this is very much a soft girl kind of life. And I know that's kind of cliche with YouTube and everything, but this is a soft girl kind of life. This is what I want, to be able to do what I love to do, helping other women, community with other women, and make money and be around for my kids. You know, and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because that's what it is. Any woman can have it. This is not something that's out of reach. Any woman can have it. But even the haters will try to shame you, shame me for that. Just sitting on YouTube all day talking to strangers. You should be at work. No, I'm good. Don't need to do that. They'll call you lazy. That's another thing. Women who are jealous and envious, women who try to humiliate you, it's normally those strong masculine types. And I have to say it how it came to me. And masculinity, as in getting things done, executing, and all of that, that's great. I'm very much an executor. I have to get things done, but it's how I do it. I no longer do it from a place of like, okay, I'm going to run my body down and let people stress me to get things done. Absolutely not. But women, the kind of women who are a little bit jealous and envious of other women, they have a very hard life. They chose a very hard life. I'm not saying that all of us, sometimes we have times in life where things are hard. I mean, the kind of women that hate on women, they get jealous and envious and try to humiliate you. It's often because they chose a hard life and they're glorifying, you know, I work 12, 15, 13, 14, 17, 60 hours a night, a day to do what I got to do. Nobody's helping me. Nobody this, nobody that, because they want it that way. Not because it might be that way. I know for a lot of women, it might have been that way. But when you can choose something better and you don't, it's like you're wearing that struggle like a pride piece. And women who value themselves and love themselves and now understand that the struggle is not a sign of like, you know, accomplishment, and they try to do something that makes life a little bit easier for themselves, you will have women that will even try to shame you in that. How dare you not work around the clock like me? Like, how dare you, you know, give time to your looks? How dare you take time to go to the doctor and take care of yourself? How dare you? Yeah, you have women who actually shame women for trying to choose an easier life. Life is not always easy, but when you're trying to do things in an easier way and keep yourself sane, you have women who are going to be envious of your soft life or what they perceive as being a soft life, all because they often choose struggle. Sometimes it's not that it falls on them, they choose it because that's what they're used to. And when you wake up out the matrix and say, you know what, I'm not working 15, 20 hours a night, especially if I got a man. I know in this decentering men culture, a lot of women don't like to hear that. But if you have a man, why would you be working 15, 20, 30 hours in a day, doing double, triple shifts, unless you just want that? I'm not knocking it sometimes because I have done it in the past. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. If you decide, you know what, I'm trying to do something extra. He got everything covered, bills for that. You know, I'm going to do this. I'll work a couple shifts because I want to buy extra products for my business. I want to do this or that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you don't have to do that anymore. You lean on that masculinity that you have in your house and in your bed. That's a normal thing to do. It's what should be done when you have a man in your house, your husband. I have to say that for my spiritual being, for your husband. That's a normal thing. I refuse. So I have a whole husband and I'm still going to be worn down and tired. Crazy. That might be a little bit of a sidebar, but at this point, we're talking about everything. Let me look at some of your comments. Ooh. Right? Struggle is not a badge of honor. Absolutely, Keisha, not a badge of honor. No. And I was guilty. I'm going to be transparent. Years ago, when I first had my children, I was guilty of wearing struggle like a badge of honor, wearing not struggle, but like hard work as a badge of honor. I got 2 toddlers. I'm working at night. I'm doing this. And my husband, I want to make this clear. My husband didn't put me in that position. My husband knew. He met me. I was strong-willed. You know, I'm in the military, just got the military. I'm working. I was finishing up school. So he knew I was strong-willed. I was doing what I do. And he had no say over anything I did. That's just how I was. So it's not that he put me, I was always doing that. And a man, even the most masculine man, they're not going to stop you when you're on the move. Like they're not going to stop you when you're that kind of woman and you keep saying, I'm okay. I kept saying, I'm okay. I was wearing that tiredness, wearing that exhaustion with like joy. So he didn't know. He didn't really think anything of it. She's doing what she does. It's normally later on in life when you decide, like, no, no, I'm doing too much. I'm doing too much. No, let me lean on this arm a little bit more. Let me lean on this masculinity a little bit more. He can do it. He's already doing it, but he can amp it up a little bit. I'm going to rest. Nothing wrong with that. Make the soft life normal. Absolutely. Make it normal. And I'll add, this is all things women, but let's make it normal for Black women, especially for Black women and for Latino women too. For all women of color, let's make that normal for us. Because I think a lot of us are used to like, we're supposed to be doing a little bit of everything all the time. I just can't do that. Like, no, 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 no. Let's make the soft life normal. Absolutely. Lean on that masculinity in your house. Lean on God, number one. But if you have a husband, if you have even, I mean, if you're a sibling and you have brothers in your home, let your brothers do things. Let them help you. I have a daughter, and sometimes I'll say, you know, can you vacuum or something like that? And she goes to get the vacuum cleaner. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Where's your brother? Have him bring it up here. Have him bring it downstairs, wherever it is. Don't do that. I say, go wash your clothes. Yes, she's going to wash your clothes, but if your brother is here, have him bring your basket down to the basement. You know, use the muscle that's in the house. And my son does it joyfully. He's like, all right, let me get my slippers. Why not? That's what they're there for. That's not all they're there for. That's what they're there for. I don't know. It's all relevant. The Lord is using you. I appreciate that, Keisha. I appreciate that. Love your channel. Thank you, Just April. I appreciate you being here. How dare you go to the spa? Absolutely. How dare you go to the spa? How dare you use a whole day to get your hair done? Like, how dare you say, okay, the kids are fine. They'll eat leftovers. I'm going to the mall. I need to get new clothes, which I need to do that soon. I need to switch over the season. Like, forget all this other stuff. I took care of big girl business. The kids are fine. Everybody's fine. I'm going to the mall. The other day, there's a restaurant across from where I work. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to sit in here and I'm going to eat. And I'll call my kids and say, what are y'all eating? You know, we had leftovers in there. And I got myself some, you know, Maggiano's, some stuffed mushrooms. And, you know, had me a little wine, just a little bit. And I just sat there and enjoyed myself. No rush for what? I'm just sitting. You know? Yes, yes. God first, yourself. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I'm not joyfully, but I get it. Stargazing. Look, when you are a woman who has been programmed to believe that if you're not constantly in motion, you're not worth anything. And of course, nobody's going to say that you're not worth anything if you're not in motion, but you can tell it by how people respond to you when you're not constantly working and in the trenches. When people are used to you being on the go and overworking, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with working. Technically, I'm still working. I'm writing books and all that. I'm still working. But I mean, when people are not used to you like doing hard labor and being worn down from the things that you do, they're used to seeing you that way, and you stop existing that way, they'll look at you like you're lazy. They'll act like, okay, so what are you worth to me? Now, you're not doing all these things anymore. You know, when my husband, you know, when I started actually like saying, you know, I'm not working like that, and I would call out of work or not be at work and stuff like that, my husband doesn't bat an eye. I'm not, you know, this is not required of me. I believe it was given to you by God. Doesn't mean I don't do what I do, but I'm not worrying about that. You know, be around people who don't shame you for resting. That's the point. Actions, not words. Are you married now? Do you have a boyfriend? I am married. I have been married. This is 2025. I've been married for 20 years this year. Yep. Thank you for this. Right on time. You're welcome, TB. Rest is so important. Yeah, when you are in a more rested state as a woman, the things that we speak about as far as haters, jealous folks, people that try to humiliate you, people that, you know, just have all these little issues with you, when you're more rested, you're more aware and you're better able to deal with things. You're better able to get spiritually connected to God so that you're equipped spiritually and mentally to deal with these things. You're more rested so that you don't have to look like what you might have went through, so that you're not carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, rest for a woman is so important. And so many women look down on it because they still give into the idea that in order for a woman to be valuable, she has to always be doing something for somebody else. She has to always be solving and fixing somebody else's problems. Like, no, I'm all for acts of service. I'm a mother, I'm a wife. I give acts of service to my family and whoever else God puts in my path. But I'm not looking to be exhausted and overworked. Absolutely not. And if you are a more rested woman, you appear to be more rested. Jealous women are not going to like that about you. If you appear to be a woman that doesn't have to do all the things they have to do to get what they have, as in struggle, be overly assertive, as in aggressive, you have to force your will on other people in order for them to do things for you. People just want to do for you. Oh, yeah, that's going to make you a target of a jealous woman when people want to do for you. And it's not to say that you're always just looking to receive from somebody, but when you're the kind of woman that is rested and you just know that things are going to work out the way they need to work out, you're a little bit too unbothered, a little bit too chill, a little bit nonchalant. Yeah, jealous women are not going to like that about you because they want you to be in the rat race with them. They want you to be on edge and just waiting for the next shoe to drop like them. They want you to be in the trenches with them. And you don't have to be a woman. I want to clarify this. You might be in some kind of struggle right now. You might be going through something right now, but you wear it well. You're not glorifying that. You're looking for a way out. You're taking little steps to simplify your life. This is not for perfect people. This is for women who want to be better, who want to do better, who want to live better in every way, financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. This kind of mindset and lifestyle is for a woman who understands that she doesn't have to be a victim of her circumstances. But women who are often jealous and envious of women who are choosing to live a softer life, who are choosing to be unbothered, who choose to be kind and gentle and actually be a girl's girl, they don't like that you have such a chill mentality or a laid back vibe about yourself. They want you to constantly be looking at people and looking to start some kind of issues. There are a lot of comments coming through, so let me look. Stargazing, trust me, people can't stand me, and that's what happens when you're high vibration versus low vibration. I have been on my spiritual awakening 48 years now, and it's amazing, but it sucks because you can see right through people. And stargazing, while I am a Christian, I understand when you become, when the light, it's like, look, the light overcomes the darkness as far as what I see and how I believe. So, of course, when the light is shed on different things, you see how lost people really are. When you see how kind of warped the mindset is, yeah, you're awake to a lot of things. And it's almost like you want to kind of be in that, like, God, why'd you have to show me this? Why'd you have to show me this about people? Like, I was better off when I didn't know. And sometimes I think that way, like, I wish I didn't know these things about people. I wish I didn't recognize these things. But when you recognize these things, you are better equipped to protect yourself and to know how to navigate around jealous people, around haters, around people who mean you no good. I mean, you can't protect yourself from what you're not aware of. You can't protect yourself from things that you're not aware of. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. K Bell TV, welcome. Some women don't like to see you well rested. Absolutely not. Because a well rested woman, normally, what that normally means is that you value yourself. You value yourself. You have self-worth. You have self-love. You are more so leaning into your femininity. A woman, a part of being in your femininity and really operating in that natural side of who God made us to be is that you value your body. Our body, and this is a little bit shift, talking about feminine energy for a moment. We are delicate. Our organs are delicate. The way we operate, the way we, how much we can bear, our spirit, the way we perceive things, we're more emotional. Men are more logical. They're more like, just get things done, go, go, go. But women, we're not meant to operate that way. We are not meant to withstand high amounts of stress for such a long time. We're just not. physically, we might be able to withstand a lot for a long period of time, but it will catch up with you later in life. I believe until this day, the reason why I deal with like acid reflux flare ups, that kind of thing, is because for so long, I put a lot of pressure and stress on my body. I was always allowing myself to be anxious and tensed up instead of listening to my body and resting when I needed to rest. I just go, 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 trying to do this, trying to figure this out, trying to make this work. And later on in life, my body showed me that, okay, you wore your body down. Physically, you were able to do it. I think God created our bodies in a way where we can physically do whatever we need to do if you're able bodied, but you will pay for it later in life if you're a woman. A lot of women develop a lot of these other diseases and things later on in life because they're putting a lot of pressure on their bodies when they're younger. They're putting a lot of stress and tension, dealing with bozos and clowns and haters and, toxic people, letting them stress them. And now you got anxiety. Now you're dealing with depression. Now you have all these different things because you allow people to dump on you and mishandle you for so long instead of saying, stop, like, I'm done. I'm tired. I'm not doing this. Or I don't need to be bothered with you. Like, I'm not going to let you get into my mental. I'm not going to let you put me down. I feel good about me. I don't know why you keep saying these things. Women deal with so much. That's the point, that sometimes we allow it to go overboard and then we pay the price for it. And I'm here to tell you, like, if you're a younger woman, like if you're in your 20s, it's time for you to stop that right now. I only caught on to it about 10 years ago. And I have a little bit of physical consequences because I was still trying to be in that go, go, go mentality. It's not worth it. There are certain times where you have to push through, but if you can find an easier way, find the easier way. Find the softer way. Live a softer life. Nothing wrong with it. Have soft moments. Always keep it calm, cool. Absolutely. I have this issue even with my mother. Exotics of Doraville. Every woman in my immediate family bloodline hates me. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way, and I really hope that's not true. Exotic of Doraville. Amen and amen. Absolutely. When I went into business for myself, Maria Amor, when I went into business for myself, I saw people's true colors. Most of my so-called friends scattered like roaches. Absolutely. You will see that. You will see that. You will see who's really for you when it comes to money. I have to say what it is. When it comes to money and business and making money and making moves as far as lifestyle and how you take care of yourself, often that is when you will truly see who your real family and friends are. You will truly see who is really supporting you and who is not. When it comes down to lifestyle shift and when you start making money or doing things that can potentially make you a lot of money, that's when your real haters will often come out too. Because a lot of people like you as long as you're living a, okay lifestyle, you're doing okay, you're eating, not that well, but you're eating. They want to see you eating, just not as well as them or not better. They're okay. But when you start doing certain things that might put you in a tax bracket that they're not accustomed to, it's like, who does she think she is? Or they don't want to help you. Lack of support is no support. When somebody is supposed to be supportive for you and they see you doing something and they're close to you or supposed to be close and they don't support you in the thing that you're doing. And I'm not saying everybody has to shell out money for your product. I'm not saying everybody has to buy whatever you're selling, but I mean, at least show enthusiasm or be available for you. If they can't do that, then those people oftentimes, they're just comfortable with you at a certain level. They don't want you to get higher than them. And there are people like that. I have witnessed people don't even want to go into somebody's house because it makes them feel uncomfortable because the stuff is just too nice. It makes them feel bad about their life. And it's sad to say that, but you got some men who are like that. You can invite them to your house. They don't want to come in the house because it's giving too much. I can't afford this. I can't get this as far as what they see. I can't attain this. So it's too much. I don't want to be around it. It's intimidating to me. And that goes to the arching theme of this. When people are threatened by you, they can't support you but so much. They can't be there for you but so much when they're threatened by you. And they'll never say it out their mouth that they're threatened by you. But if somebody cannot, like I said, they don't have to buy the product, they don't have to buy the service, but if they can't at least be around or even acknowledge, you could be, I'll give you an example. Can you imagine Barack Obama or Donald Trump walking into a room and somebody not asking them about the presidency? What is Barack Obama known for? What is Trump known for right now? They're known for being the president of the United States. But what your haters will do, they will see like Barack Obama or Trump, and they'll never bring up the presidency. That's the highest office they ever held, but they will never bring it up. They'll act like they was never the president. They'll talk to them just like they some kind of hood guy on the street. Like, how you doing? Okay, good. All right. That's Barack Obama. You're not going to ask him about Michelle. You're not going to ask him about the presidency. And I'm not trying to say that you or I are in that same category, but you could have solved world peace. You could have brought world peace. You could have solved world hunger. They'll never mention it. They'll talk to you like, oh, so how the kids doing? How this? Okay. You were just on the nightly news. You were on TV receiving a Nobel Peace Prize. They'll never bring it up. They'll act like you didn't get anything. So you're still working at Walmart? Like, I was just on the 10 o'clock news. I got a Nobel Peace Prize, but no, I left Walmart a while ago. You get it? Like, Barack Obama's not going to come in his house and I'm not going to ask, how's Michelle doing? Are y'all really broke up? I know you're not messing around with Jennifer Aniston. Like, that's not you. You wouldn't do that. You were the president of the United States twice. You wouldn't do that. I'm not going to sit here with him and ask him, what did you eat for dinner last night? Maybe. But the point I'm making is the first thing is that big thing he was doing that he's known for. I might bring that up. But your haters, they're aware of everything you're doing, but they're too uncomfortable and intimidated and threatened oftentimes to bring it up. That's just the way it is. And it's not that you need them to bring it up. It's just they won't. I mean, it's obvious. You could be in a room in an event that's about you, and they won't say anything about it. It could be your birthday party that they're at, and they won't say anything about it. I've seen these weird kind of energies and dynamics. I've witnessed this. I am not making this up at all. Very weird. Pretending to not see you. Absolutely, Eva McCall, pretending to not see you. Absolutely. And when you know they're pretending not to see you, you can't help but to see them. You don't care, but you know they know that I know that they know. It's weird. It's very weird. Very weird. Let me look at some of your comments. Forgive me if I just slurped. My mother is my number one arch nemesis. Always checks to see if I'm fat and always talks about kid stuff. And I'm 48. She's stuck in the past. My goodness. A lot of parents are stuck in the past asking if I'm fat. I don't even know what to say, you know. It's some parents, they just set in their ways, especially some of them, if they're from the old school, not giving an excuse, but they're just set in their ways. And, you know, I had a family member say to me, you know, like, what are you doing? I said, I'm sitting here eating yogurt. And they were like, eating yogurt? We wasn't raised on that. Yogurt. As if somehow like, okay, eating yogurt is like the wrong thing to do. I'm like, what am I supposed to be sitting here eating like a neck bone sandwich? Or like, what am I supposed to be doing? Eating pork roll sandwich? What am I supposed to be doing? What is acceptable things to be eating right now? Should I have what? Ham and cheese? Nothing wrong with ham and cheese if you like it. I'm just saying. Eating yogurt. I was eating yogurt for breakfast. I think yogurt and a banana or something. And they're like, oh, that's so white. Always associate everything with whiteness. I'm like, okay. So I'll make up for that. I'll get me a pork roll sandwich. Okay. You happy? It's some scrapple. Scrapple's okay. I don't eat it like that anymore, but it's okay. If somebody got it, I'll taste it. It's just weird. It's like always got something negative to say about positive things. Like I can't even be healthy in peace. My goodness. Trying to be healthy. Like how are you going to tell me what to do with my GI tract? I don't understand. Like, come on. because she gained weight and used to be little, and I guess I'm supposed to get big like that too. Yeah, like it's weird. Like so I'm fighting against obesity. If you're in that state for medical reasons, it is what it is. Take care of yourself. But you, because you're like that, I have to be like that. Like, so I can't be skinny in your presence. Like, I have to eat fried foods in your presence, even though you know I don't eat fried foods. I had a person like that. I don't eat fried foods. At the most, I might eat like chicken tenders. I don't order them, but if we're out somewhere and they happen to have them, I'll eat a chicken tender or something, but I don't like fried foods. Like, even if I have fried chicken, I'm going to take the skin off because it messes with my stomach and it's just not good for you. I don't eat it anymore. And I have people that's like, okay, that's weird. You take the chicken, take the skin off the chicken. Yeah, because it's nasty to me. I don't like it. And I don't like fried stuff. I don't want to feel the grease in my mouth. Like, it's just, to me, I don't like it. You eat the fried chicken, nothing wrong with that. Look, I get my kids Popeyes from time to time, but I don't feel like cooking. Absolutely. They're young. Their body can still, withstand some stuff. Me, I'm not done doing it. And I shouldn't have to prove my blackness to you, to prove that I'm still down or real. It's weird. So I got to be unhealthy to prove to you that I'm not too bougie. Like, what? Whatever, it's dumb. Um, I'm kind of just getting, being silly, but really some of the things that people look at you and make little comments about are some of the most foolish things. They pretend because it hurts to see you winning, so they hit the ignore button. Absolutely, Misha, absolutely. Yes, because ex Dorville. Yes, because she gained weight, used to be little, and I guess, yeah. What are you guys' thoughts on people provoking jealousy, like bragging, for instance? Anyone can answer. Audrey Estelle, I'm glad you brought that up because on the other side of jealousy, people being jealous of you, we are all human, where we all have felt jealousy, feel jealousy from time to time. We're not like, even if we feel like we're doing well in life, we're doing better and better each year, each day, each month, we can still feel jealous of other people. And you have people who try to provoke you to jealousy. They try to do things to make you jealous of them. And in that case, that's also a very uncomfortable situation to be in too, because you have some people, because they're not used to doing great things. This is my opinion on it. But because they're not used to doing great things, or like mom and them used to say back in the day, they're not used to having nothing. Okay. Because of that, sometimes the little things or the things they do accomplish, they do overkill with it. They overemphasize what they're doing. So they might be in a relationship with a man and he's taking care of them. That seems to be the overarching theme for women. Get a high value man, high providing man. Wonderful. Every woman should have one. But you have some women, and this is just an example, who have never had really healthy relationships. So when they do have a man, you can be happy, be joyous. Nothing wrong with that. Talk to your girlfriends about what he's doing, and a confident woman should be able to receive it. But this is how you can tell when a woman is trying to make you jealous with her relationship. It's when she starts speaking in comparison to language, meaning it's not enough for her to say, yeah, Tim, he took me out last night. Actually, this is the third time this week he took me out to dinner, and we're going away for Valentine's Day. We're going away for our honeymoon. Like, we're going away for a trip. Like, he does these kind of things all the time. Like, I thank God for him. And you should be sitting there with her saying, where are you going? Thank God for that. Absolutely, girl, you deserve it. But when she starts saying things like, so does Billy take you places? Does Keith take you places? When's the last time Keith took you out? Oh, he hasn't taken you out in a while. He should, because Tim always takes me. What are you doing? Why are you comparing us? Why are you comparing my relationship to yours? This went left real fast. You were telling me about all the great things that Tim is doing for you, which is wonderful. But why are you bringing up what Keith is not doing for me? I don't understand, or what you perceive he's not doing for me. That's when you can tell somebody's trying to provoke you to jealousy. When you became the manager, now you're a manager at a store. I had real conversation. I became an assistant manager at a retail store. I just heard a noise. Might have been outside. Anyway, I became a retail manager at a store, one of my first management positions. I was happy about that. It's a management title, okay pay. I was happy about that. And I was telling an acquaintance that I just got the job at a retail store, assistant manager. It's a big store. I'm happy about that. It's pretty nice. And she tells me, oh, yeah, that's, you have a lot of people coming there stealing, and said, that's why I got out of there. Like, I'm now the manager at so and so. Like, I don't have to worry about people stealing or none of that kind of stuff. I don't have to worry about none of that. Okay. So you felt the need to tell me about that when I'm telling you I just got a position as a retail manager, assistant manager at the store, and you're telling me about how bad it was for you, and you got out of that position, and now you're doing something better than what I'm doing. Okay. So you're trying to make me feel bad about the position that I am excited about because you're doing something better. Yeah, that's how you can tell somebody's trying to provoke you to jealousy. So pretty much she tried to bring my confidence level about my new position from here to here. That's how you can tell when somebody's trying to provoke you. The point being is that they speak in comparison to. They always like to say, well, yeah, that's nice, but, or that word, and you ladies might know, when they put little in front of something, you already know it's about to be hella disrespectful. A little house. Now, we all are guilty. I'm guilty of saying that little house, that little job, that little this. But when they do a little bit too much littling, you already know what it is. Everything is little. Like, my goodness, can I be great for a moment? It's weird. I have 50 plus coworker that does this. You're welcome, Audrey Estelle. Misha, can you explain why people get upset at people grabbing? Do I have to be humble to say, oh, don't let it go away? Misha, can you put your comment about grabbing again? Because it went away. I'm sorry. Try to make it negative rather than congratulating you. Absolutely. It's like they try to rain on your parade, or they speak in comparison language. They can't just let you have your moment. People who are jealous and trying to provoke you to jealousy, they can't let you have your moment. And when they begin to just constantly talk about the things, they might have already told you about something. But if they're constantly telling you about something over and over and over again, now you're bragging. Now you're trying to make somebody jealous, and you're not going to probably succeed at making someone jealous. If anything, the person will be annoyed. Like, how many times I have to hear about your baby daddy got out of jail? How many times I have to hear about that y'all back together? Wonderful. But okay, I'm good with that, and that's just real. How can someone have more than you and still be jealous? Because it's not about things a lot of time. It's about your character. It's not about things a lot of time. It's about your character. Some of the most meanest, miserablest persons, man and woman alike, are people that have some of the nicest houses, nicest cars, nicest bank accounts, and they are absolutely miserable because the one thing that they don't have is meaningful relationships and peace of mind. They are not living softly. They don't have people around them because they don't know how to treat people. This is my opinion. But a lot of people, you say, how can they be jealous of you when they have more than you? Because they're doing things that are making them miserable to keep up with other miserable people. That's what I refuse to do. I refuse to work myself to exhaustion to keep up with people who don't even like me. Like, for what? Like, if I'm living comfortably, if I'm living a life that allows me and my family to have the things we need, my husband's doing what he's supposed to do, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, we have what we need, and we have a lot of what we want and working toward more, why do I need to compete with people that I don't want to be around, or they don't want to be around me? That's why sometimes people are, they can perceivingly have more than you but still be jealous. It's because you have peace of mind. It's because you might have healthy relationships. You have time, and they don't. They really don't understand how crazy they look while doing this. Absolutely. It's like over and over. And, a part of being a feminine woman and a part of being a woman of class and grace and dignity is that you just give people a little bit of leeway. But my goodness, sometimes it's like, if you come over here one more time with that stuff, talking to me, People want what you have. Yes, and what you have might not be monetarily. What you have could be peace of mind. What you have could have a husband that looks at you in awe. What you have could be a man that picks you up every night from the bus stop. It could be something simple, and they will hate on you. Her man might not be waiting for her at the bus stop. He might not be waiting outside of her job to pick her up. She might have to figure it out because he's not worrying about it. You on your own, I'm on my own. And she'll hate on you for that. You don't have to be living a lavish lifestyle to have somebody that's hating on you. You really don't. Women side-eye you. I said, my husband's picking me up tonight. And they just like, let me call this Uber. Okay. It's weird. I don't know. Diana, the thing they are trying to one up you on is usually the thing they envy the most about you. It really is a compliment. Absolutely. Absolutely. Christina Whitfield. So it's true. My mom used to say, when a person treats you bad, it's more about them and has nothing to do with you. I used to internalize when I got treated bad by someone. Your mother was correct, Christina Whitfield. More times than not, unless you had a situation with this person, if you can pinpoint an altercation or an issue with the person, then they might not like you because of something that happened. But if you can't pinpoint an altercation or something that happened, it's just because it's something wrong with them. If somebody dislikes you and you did nothing to them and they seem to can't stand you or they have some kind of animosity towards you, that's a them problem, not you. You didn't do anything. You're being yourself and not bothering them, and they don't like you. Your mother was correct. It's them, not you. What do you think it means, mukbang muga? What do you think it means when people sneak pictures of you? Sneak pictures of you. Have you explained such a thing? The only time that happened to me is when, like I said, I worked at a hotel, and this man, he was like, I don't know if it's because of my forehead, my big forehead, I don't know. But he was like, you look so beautiful. Are you from Africa? Like, that's what he said to me. He said, are you from Africa? Where are you from? And he was with a woman too. And he was trying to take a picture of me. He said, can I take a picture of you? He was there for a conference. And I'm like, no, sir, you can't take a picture of me. Like, no. He's like, you're so beautiful. Oh, are you from Africa? He kept saying that over and over again. And I'm like, I think I am from Africa originally, like ancestrally, but I don't know what part. I'm not sure. He wanted to take a picture. He had his phone up trying to take a picture. And I'm like, no, I had to turn around and go in the back. That's the only time I had that experience. But I've never had somebody try to sneak a picture of me. I never thought I was that important like that to take sneak pictures of me. I don't know. I'm important, but just to sneak pictures like paparazzi, I don't know. I say, get out of view of the camera. I don't know. Excuse me. Like, for example, mega just me. Like, for example, I could have a walk-in closet and someone has two closets. They're still mad about what you have. It's weird. It's all their insecurity. It really comes down to their own insecurity. Why somebody would be upset from you having one walk-in closet when they have two, I don't know. Maybe it's less organizing for you and more for them. I don't know. That's very weird. And some of this stuff, is straight weirdo energy. Like I've said before, I don't even try to fully understand it. I just see it when I recognize it. I don't understand why it's like that. I just recognize it a lot of times. When people see you getting a little attention from others, they feel the need to compete. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, for a lot of the time, because of stuff like that, part of that is the reason why sometimes I would just be quiet into myself, because I know once I start talking and getting involved with people and stuff, it's going to be some hater sitting over on the side looking like I'm doing too much. And when I was younger, I used to care about those things. I used to try to dumb down my personality. Don't be too funny. Don't talk too much. Don't ask too many questions, because you don't want to be the girl that's like getting all the attention, especially from men. You don't want the women who are a little bit, haters and just sitting over there observing in a negative way. You don't want to be on their radar. So don't try to be in the mix too much. Now I could care less. If I'm vibing with you and I feel like I want to be over there and talk to you about something, or you're talking about something that's of interest to me and the group is over there and I'm talking and you're talking and I have knowledge and you want me over there, I'm going. Like, I don't care if, Betty or whoever is sitting over there in the sideline just looking at me like, I don't care about that. Either join in the conversation or mind your business or whatever. I'm talking. Or if I don't feel like being bothered, then whatever. But no, you never, when you're getting too much attention, and especially with women, when they see you getting too much attention from men, especially, they will become jealous. They will look at you as if somehow you're a Jezebel. You're doing something to provoke all of this energy from men. You're doing something to grab the attention of men. Oh, you're being too loose. You're being this and that. Some women are naturally charming. Some women are naturally laid back and just know how to just be. They know how to shoot the breeze and relax and enjoy the company of all people. And it doesn't have to be in a flirtatious or provocative or seductive way. They're just being themselves and people are drawn to them. And if you're that kind of woman, yes, you're going to have jealous people who don't like that. You're going to have jealous women who are going to try to make you out to be the kind of woman who's always trying to grab the attention of some man. And what they don't understand sometimes, when you are a woman who fully operates in her femininity and you are kind and you have a gentle and quiet spirit, but you have an outgoing personality or you're just kind, people are going to be drawn to you whether you speak or not. I've had men have full-blown conversations with me and I'm not paying them any mind. Like, I'm literally just saying, wow, really? That's crazy. Looking at my phone. I'm on the train, or, I was on the train because we have our transit system. That's how we travel most of the time in the city where I live. I'm on the train, sitting next to me, having the whole conversation. That's crazy. And he's telling me his whole life story. But I'm meanwhile just sitting here like, that's crazy. All right. And he just talking and talking. I don't know what he's talking about, but I don't know. He's just talking. It's something about a woman who is kind of laid back and know how to be in the moment and just rested within herself, where people are just drawn to that. Oh, let me look at my phone. Somebody sent the Cash App. Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Let me see. Did it go away? I know I just saw. It must have just came through because I don't see the notification yet, but thank you in advance. I absolutely appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, just received it. Thank you so much. Let me see who it came from because I'm going to shout you out properly. My goodness, you could tell I'm like, I don't. Jay Banks, thank you very much for the Cash App. I absolutely appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, but yeah, you don't have to be doing anything to like grab the attention of men or women. You have women who are girls or confident within themselves where they're drawn to you too. They'll compliment you or ask you about different things or just strike a conversation with you. And somebody who's a jealous hater, they're like, oh, she knows she don't never talk to her. She's talking to me now. We're talking like two human beings. That doesn't mean we're going to be besties, but we're talking like two grown women, like grown women. Like, what's wrong with that? Haters will find anything. That's the point I'm making. It's crazy. I feel like it was jealous. They want to use the pictures to humiliate me. Where were you when they took these pictures, if you don't mind me asking? You don't have to tell me a specific place, but was it like a store, a school, a work, office? I'm going to be me at all times. Absolutely. Be yourself. Now, ladies, a little bit of a sidebar to that. Being yourself. If there are things you want to work on, things that you know you need to work on, do that. When I say be yourself, I mean don't let people talk you out of the positive qualities that you have about yourself. Some women who are jealous and envious, they look at the positive things about you as in a negative light. You do not want somebody to do that to you. If you smile a lot, keep smiling. Don't let somebody in their scowls and their frowns and their remarks stop you from smiling. If you are genuinely a lighthearted person that likes to chit chat with everybody, keep doing that. Don't let some hater, some negative energy, woman or man, who is sour and probably has no personality, that's the reason why nobody talks to them, to cause you to be quiet. I used to do things like that where, okay, I know I could be talking to them, but because she's sitting over there like that, I don't even feel like being bothered with it. I'm just going to be quiet. No, because she's sitting over there, I'm going to go talk to everybody. Because she's over there, this is the time to talk. She's going to have to get used to me because I am everywhere. I'm not going nowhere unless God says something different. Like, no, we don't do that. No, no. So positive things about yourself you want to change, do that. But if your positive traits are irritating somebody else, well, they have to be irritated. That's on them. No. What do you think? Christina Whitfield, can you put they can be of any, what do you think of women? They could be of any race staring at you. Christina Whitfield, can you put your comment back in the comment section? I'm sorry, it goes so fast. I have to learn how to slow it down. There are times this year it happened. One from childhood friends supposed to do my hair on my birthday, took my hair out, didn't do it, and sneak pictures of me. Stuff like that. And that's a rare occasion. You would like to think that your friend wouldn't do some kind of sneaky, underhanded thing like that. And that's the reason why, for me, I do my own hair other than going to the African braiding salon. Like, I'll go to the African braiding salon because I know for the most part, with them, they done seen it all. They're not worrying about that. They braid your hair up real quick. You come out looking nice. And I'm not against going to the hair salon. If I have any hairstylists on here, I love hairstylists. I love what you do. Some of the most beautiful hairstyles I have seen as of lately are those hairstylists that are keeping it professional, not making women feel bad. Some of you all are like magicians, like you work magic. I appreciate you. But a lot of these new school hairstylists, they are having a lot of unethical behaviors that are causing them to not really get the kind of clientele they want because they don't know how to keep it professional. Such as taking pictures of your clients in a state that yourself, you wouldn't want somebody looking at you in that kind of way. You sitting there not looking your best and you're going to take a picture and post it. They choose the worst pose of you to post to social media. Why? Because you're a cute girl and got long hair. I went to the hair salon one time. That was my last time. It wasn't my first time. It was my last time. I went to a hair salon right around where I live. And I got my hair to a decent length. It was growing out to a very decent length. I had very long hair in my childhood, but as we get older, you start doing the tracks and, late 90s, early 2000s, it was all about the glue in tracks, all that kind of stuff. And I was the glue in queen, the quick weave, they call it now. I will be doing all of that. And I had took a lot of my hair out at one point. I used Jamaican black castor oil. I used rosemary mint. I used all of that to regrow my hair to a decent length. And it was getting thicker with me taking biotin. So I say that to say that it was at a nice length. My edges were thick and full. And I went and got my hair pressed out. I went and got a blowout. Not from the Dominican hair salon, but I went and got a blowout. And I went to a sister. I went to one of us because, I see our salons. I like the pictures. I like our vibe for the most part. I went in there. The lady, she didn't really seem too inviting. First issue, even though the music was nice, it looked nice, but she wasn't too inviting. That was my first red flag that I should have walked up out of there with my edges intact. But I didn't follow my instinct and I sat down anyway. She was like, what do you want done? I said, I just want my hair like straightened, like blown out. I didn't really know exactly what I was talking about because, I'm into hair, but I don't know all the terminology a lot of times. So that's what I wanted, just straightened and like curled. Like, can you bump the ends under, still in the 90s. So I know enough to know that you should be using heat protectant. But I figure since I already used my chi oil on my hair that, it's going to be okay. I don't have to worry about that. But she went and she wanted to wash and condition my hair too. And I don't know, y'all can tell me if I was wrong. She wanted to wash and condition my hair too beforehand, but I already did that. So I'm like, okay, I just want you to straighten it out. So I let her wash and condition my hair, which I guess is a good thing. But after she did all of that, she rubbed something on my head. Like she sprayed something, but she didn't put any like protective oil from what I saw. So long story short, my hair, it came out nice, but I noticed my edges were really dry. Fast forward like a week later, and my hair was extremely weak around my edges. My edges got extremely thin and my hair thinned out, and I was back to square one. I don't know if that was like my doing or her doing, but just with her attitude and the way she was anyway, I feel like she straight ruined my hair on purpose. I'm just going to say how it came to me because my hair was fine before I came in there. And when I left, like a few days later, it looked very dry, very brittle. I don't know what she put in my hair, but I say this to say that sometimes because women, especially in those kind of energies, sometimes when they see a woman with long hair, nice hair, I don't know. It's just something, a vibe I get where it's like they're trying to ruin you on purpose. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Now, maybe on that, maybe I'm overthinking too much about it. Tell me in the comments if I may be seeing too much, if I'm looking into it a little bit too much. Hate or jealous. What are your thoughts on dark skin being told compete with light skinned women? Colorism. Yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. I'll wave and smile at people that stare. Sometimes they smile back. Sometimes they look away. It doesn't matter. Yeah, when it comes to speaking to people in public, women, and they don't acknowledge you, I mean, whatever. A lot of times, especially in the climate we live in, a lot of women are not accustomed to other women being nice to them. So when they ignore you, they might just look at it like, whatever. The city I live in, I can tell you that a lot of the women are not really used to women being kind and friendly to them. It's always some kind of side eye or skunk eye first. And if you feel like you have time, then you can actually say your hair is cute and then she might crack a smile. It's like a process of getting to a woman's niceness, unfortunately, especially when you live in the inner cities. Smiling might mean multiple things in a city, unfortunately. Most hairstylists prefer to wash your hair. I'm so sorry you experienced that. And I thought maybe washing your hair beforehand is like a normal thing to do. I didn't think that was negative. It's just like the aftercare after that. It's like, okay, from the sink to the dryer to just automatically putting the curler on my hair. Like, I don't know. I feel like something was missing. Stop being afraid to be seen. Such absolutely. It's not uncommon. Salon sabotage. Yeah, I've heard about that, and I've saw multiple videos on YouTube, TikTok, all these different places. So I stay out of the hair salons unless I'm going to get my hair braided. If I don't like your energy, you will not be playing on no parts of my body. Absolutely not. I think I have a video about me going to the emergency room and the nurse's energy was just so off. She was just like mean for no reason, giving me attitude for no reason. And this was the emergency room. I was there because I wasn't feeling well. And she was giving me attitude. And she really thought I was going to let her stick me with the needle? Absolutely not. I told my husband, I don't feel right. I don't know what's going on, but I want to go to a different hospital. We went to a hospital out of the way, all because the nurse was giving Nurse Ratchet. She was giving like very moody, very nasty. And I'm not saying like a mood like I had a hard night, I'm tired. I get that. Nurses have a very hard job. I mean, she had zero bedside manner. And I understand being a nurse. I don't know firsthand, but I understand, I can imagine being a nurse is a very hard job. You deal with all kinds of people. But when you became a nurse, I'm pretty certain that you had an oath that you were going to treat people well and you're there to care for people. She made me feel like I probably won't make it out with her care. Like it was that bad. She was like giving me attitude, looking at me like threatening. I'm like, what's wrong with you? What did I do to you? I came here sick. Why are you giving me an attitude? I left. I said, no, I came here for something that's major but minor. I'm going to walk out of here. Like, no. And when I got home, I cried about that. When I came home to change my clothes so that me and my husband can go to the other hospital, I felt bad about that because she was like me. She was a Black woman like me. And I cried because I'm like, I didn't want to feel that way about her. I was like, God, forgive me if I was wrong. I don't want to feel that way about her. She looks like me, but this is my health. Like, I'm not going to let her stick me with a needle in my back. And she's giving me all attitude and barely speaking and just throwing the cup down. You know, the cup they give you, you got to, do your business in. She's throwing it down and just being really aggressive. Like, you're not going to stick me with no needles. I'll go to the other side of the world to be seen before I let you touch me. No, 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 no. Yeah, bad energy can affect your entire body. Absolutely. Bad energy, negative spirits. Look, try the spirit. We have to be very careful with our stylists. I do not think it's too much. You discern the negative energy. Absolutely. And I don't know why it's like that. It's like even going into establishments where there are a lot of us, a lot of women. You want to come in and spend your money. She opens up a nice boutique, opens up a nice hair salon, opens up a nice store, and you want to support. I'm there to support my sister, support my people. And then when you walk in there, it's the most uninviting situation that you ever walked into. Everybody just staring at you, mean mugging you, looking at you like you have no business walking into the store. I'm like, wait a minute. This is a grand opening for your boutique, right? I'm here to support my sisters. I'm here to support you, right? Why is everybody in here looking like we're about to do some kind of gang affiliation? Like it's something serious about to go down. Why is everybody mean mugging me and I'm here to spend my money? I don't understand that. We need to do better in that regard. Definitely. A hater can't do anything else but hate. Don't take it personal. Look. Lollipop baby. When I was 11, I had a nurse push the needle all the way to the bone because my mom bragged about me not being afraid of needles. She literally tried to get a pain reaction out of me. Your mother, God bless her. Somebody would have tried to do that to my baby. I would have probably ended up grabbing that needle like, whoa, wait a minute. What are we doing? I know when it comes to my children, something like that, I look very carefully. Like, what are you doing? Now, my son, he's the one that just looks at it and be like, he was like, blood. I'm like, why are you looking? But no, yeah, you have to be very mindful because I don't know. People carry all kinds of negative energy, positive energy. You don't know what spirit is operating on the inside of some people. It can be very demonic, how I see it. And when it comes to people dealing with your body, your food, your mental, you want to try the spirit of the person you're dealing with. Don't just take advice from anybody. Don't just take food from anybody. I don't eat everybody's food because I don't know for sanitary reasons, but I just don't know your intent, especially somebody who you don't like me and we're at a potluck and I'm not taking anything you're cooking. You don't even talk to me. Not because we're not around each other, but because you have an issue. No, no, thank you. I'll eat whatever I brought with me. No. Absolutely. You have some people, it's the spirit of people. And I know I read a comment, somebody said that, oh, I'm looking for the perfect one. Nobody's perfect. You don't have to be perfect to not be, how can I say this in a nice way? You don't have to be perfect to not be a hater, to not be a jerk, to not be a person that tries to make other people's lives miserable. To be a decent human being, or at least just mind the business that pays you. And you don't have to like everybody. You don't have to like anybody at all. You might not care for somebody just because. Keep it to yourself. What does Tabitha Brown say? I know a lot of people are not liking her right now, which is also crazy, but I'm not going to get into that. If you can't, let's say you can't have a good day, don't go messing up smile. I don't know. But y'all know what she says. We wrestle not against absolutely Maria Moore. Now, that's the way I see it. How can differences between culture and someone's personality? Can you elaborate on that a little bit, Angel? Yep, sad reality of this world. Absolutely. Yeah. But I want to go to that topic of colorism because somebody mentioned how would you respond to people dark skin being put against light skin? I don't think, and I think that where we are today in the world, I don't know if that's really a major thing that's happening. I know it's still out there as far as colorism, as far as featureism, texturism, even now, when it comes to different hair textures. Some people have 4C hair, which is that more tightly kinky, curly hair. Some people have that loose, wavy hair. Some people, have that caramel complexion. Some people have that, popcorn complexion, I guess. I don't know. Butterscotch, caramel, chocolate, whatever you are. As far as colorism, a lot of people, and this is the way I see it, especially amongst Black people, I think this goes all the way back to our history. And I'm not going to say the word because I'm not quite sure of how the monetization works with YouTube. I don't want to have any issues, but we're in February, and all Black people know what we celebrate in February, Black History Month. And what do they celebrate or talk about the most and highlight the most during Black History Month? You would think they will highlight our accomplishments. They highlight the great things that Black people have done. They talk a little bit about that. But more times than not, they talk about the S word. They talk about what our ancestors went through as Black people a long time ago in our history. And I think the whole light skin, dark skin thing comes back to the house and field one of us. And some people still carry, this is my opinion. And Malcolm X even talked about it. I love Malcolm X. I love Martin Luther King too. Malcolm X was a Muslim, but I love a lot of his mentality and the way he talked about things so candidly. The house and field syndrome, I'll say it that way, that is still very much a real thing in our society today. Some people look at lighter skin as being less threatening and more pure, be it light skinned Black person, be it white, be it whatever. Even you have some light skinned Mexicans, dark skinned Mexicans, it's all within different cultures. Some people look at the lighter skin as being more pure, being more appealing, being more attractive. People who are ignorant, I have to say that, they look at it that way. And then some people look at dark skin as, you're more aggressive. How many times, and we do completely real, we do classy, but we do real on this channel. How many times have you heard people say it's normally the dark skinned girl that's causing the problems? How many times have you kind of seen, unfortunately, coincidentally, that some of the people, women that tend to be a little bit more aggressive sometimes are darker skinned in nature? Not all the times, but sometimes it's like that. I'm not saying that all dark skinned people or light skinned people are one way. I'm saying the way it has been through history. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but a lot of people who are ignorant in their understanding, they don't realize that it's deeper than just light against dark. It's what it represents. And back in our history, it represented differently than what it represents now. Now it's fetishized, even from the 90s, getting a red bone and yellow and all this other stuff. To me, a woman is beautiful no matter how her texture of hair, no matter her skin color. When you know how to work with what God gave you, you can be the chocolatest of chocolate or the pale of pale, and you will still be sought after by men and whomever. So that colorism thing, it is a thing, but I think it only really carries weight when you give so much weight to it. If you're constantly looking, if you're a darker skinned woman and you're constantly looking at lighter skinned women as if they are the standard of beauty for you, then you are dumbing yourself down. If you are a lighter skinned woman and you are looking at darker complected women as if they are somewhat the standard, then that is you doing that, not other people. It's all, the way I see it, based on your level of confidence and how you're trying to live for yourself. Like, you don't live in comparison to anybody else. I'm not going to be compared to a petite light skinned girl with red hair, narrow nose, all of that. We're two different types of women. We're two different looks, and there's something out there for everybody. Everybody appeals to different things. My husband appealed to me. I appeal to me. That's all that matters. I've never had issues with men or anything like that. So, and that's the way you have to look at it. It's not in comparison to. But yes, I do say that a lot of people still pedestalize lighter skinned women, and it's because of their ignorance. I'm not saying that lighter skinned women are not beautiful, but I'm going to be real with you. Just because somebody's light, that doesn't automatically make them cute. But that's the mentality that a lot of people have. Light skin automatically equals beautiful. Some people have that mentality, and that's just not true. Yeah, my grandfather was a twin and was given away because he was dark skinned. It's crazy. Colorism was very bad in my family while I was growing up. All the lighter skinned children and grandchildren were highly favored. Yeah, and that's ridiculous. But it's, again, it goes a lot into our history and the programming. A lot of people, especially people of color, Black people, don't want to admit it, but a lot of us have been programmed to believe certain things and have certain mentalities, and it's just stuck. It's stuck in us, I say us, I don't think that way, but I say us to be a part of the community, We have to remember that there is only one of each of us. Absolutely. And that's the way I see it. When I was younger, I had issues with my nose. Like, I thought that my nose was way too big for my face. Like, I didn't like it. And I felt it by the way I carried myself. I wasn't that confident because I thought my nose, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. And kids, they have jokes. I heard all the jokes about my nose, about my forehead, about everything. And those things that were made fun about me when I was younger are the things that I get compliments about now. Nobody's saying your nose looks nice. I'm just saying being called beautiful, knowing that I'm beautiful, and then now having a lot of people affirming that, as you grow, it makes you feel good. Like, okay, the things that you looked at as negatives, there are certain people that admire that about you. You look different, you look unique. I always have people ask me, where are you from? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, where am I from? I'm from here. Like, I'm from where I live. I'm from Jersey. I'm like, I'm from Jersey. That's where I'm from. But they talk to me like I'm from some East, like I'm from this West East continent of East Coast continent or country of Africa. I'm from the exotic isles of somewhere. Like, that's what they expect me to say. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm really about to do an ancestry report because I would like to know what part of Africa, my family was originally from. But I get people asking me all the time, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Jersey, South Side. I mean, the southern part. I mean, I don't know. So I say that to say, I'm being funny, but I say that to say, embrace your uniqueness, because somebody might look at you as average. One person looks at you as average. Another person is looking at you like you're the best thing ever. And the most important thing, I have to say it, how God sees you, and then how you see yourself. I know that might sound corny to some, but really, when you see yourself the way God sees you, none of this other stuff really matters. And that's really what changed for me. When I start seeing that, God created me to be a certain way. I'm not like everybody else. I don't look like everybody else. I look different. Then I start sprucing up what I got, and it worked. I don't know. I was in middle school, and a dark-skinned girl always had an attitude toward me. Why your neck so dark? I didn't do anything to her. Yeah, because it's the light skin complex. And I had to say that how it came to me. It's the lighter skin complex. Now, you have some women, we're going to keep it 1,000% 100. You have some lighter skinned women that have a light skin complex, where they just have been taught that because they're light skinned, they're automatically the best thing ever. And they carry that like a badge of honor. That's also ignorance. When a woman puts down another woman because she's perceived to be the standard of beauty, because it's been ingrained into her. And in the 90s, that was truly a thing. And what's that movie with Spike Lee? Tisha Campbell. Why is that escaping me right now? But not School Days. I don't know. One of those movies where it was the lighter skinned girls against the darker skinned girls. And, they said all these kind of derogatory names against each other. It's that kind of thing. It's the lighter skin, the complex. And a lot of lighter skinned women still have that complex. Not all, but they do. That's just the fact. Do I worry about that? Should you worry about that? Absolutely not. Should you be the best version of yourself? Absolutely. And once again, like I've said, lighter skin doesn't automatically mean cute. I had a lighter skinned woman who always seemed to have little remarks toward me, or, just the way she would say things. And in my head, it was School Days, I think. But she would always have little remarks toward me because she was being fetishized because she's light skinned. But in my head, and I believe I can talk to you all here because this is our audience, this is our group here. In my head, she looked like a wet baby rat, light skinned, but that doesn't mean cute. That's just the way I saw her, because she was always trying to say something smart. And I'm like, you're not cute. You're just light. You don't understand that. That was a petty moment. Look, I'm human. But hey, I was like, you're not cute because you're light. That doesn't mean you're cute. Everybody's not Beyonce because you're light. I don't get it. Like, y'all really don't believe light-skinned people can be not attractive? That's different. That's the way it was coming to me. No, I am not a beauty queen, but I can observe what I can observe. She was not cute. She was light. There's a difference. And I'm not picking with light-skinned women. Half of my family is light-skinned. I have a light-skinned husband, a light-skinned child, light-skinned sister-in-law, light-skinned mother-in-law, light-skinned father. This is not about that. This is about what it is. I love all people who love me and the people who don't. Just being funny. Don't be offended because that's just what it is. That's the way it is. Colorism is real. Colorism is ignorance. And that's the level I have to go to for a minute. How can I teach my kids not to laugh at other kids' skin darkness secretly? I think that just comes from how you are raising them. You have to teach your kids how to look at all people from their humanity, no matter how different they are. My daughter, my kids, we live in 2025. So we have all different types of people today. We have male, female, and all of the above. And I'm a Christian. Piece that together, if you will. And my kids see people where when they were younger, now they know the difference. But when they were younger, they might have been a little confused as into who and or what they're talking to. And my son, he just blatant with it. Like, no, I'm like, son, I understand, but just be nice. It's not about that. Just say hello. Just be nice. That's it. So it's really on how you're raising them. That's just what it comes down to. It's tight, but it's right. How can I? Dry hair edges stylist hater. Look, that's the problem. Still people relating beauty with skin color. Absolutely. Like I see so many beautiful chocolate women, so many beautiful caramel complected women. It's like, it's not about complexion. It's about how you carry what you have. It's about how you maintain yourself. It's about the light that's on the inside of you that's coming out, because you can be light skinned, top tier, looking like whoever these new people are, Tyler, Lotto, all these other new people. What's the other one? Aoki, whatever. I don't know. You can look like all of those people, but if your personality sucks, you're still not attractive. I never realized that I was light skinned until I was called high yellow. My brother was called high yellow for his entire existence. High yellow. And piss color. That's not nice. My mom was light and my dad was dark. All I knew was that I was black. Absolutely. And black comes in all shades. Like, people are so ignorant. Like, your light skin doesn't mean you're automatically mixed. Dark skin doesn't mean that you might not be mixed. Like, honestly, because of what I aforementioned about what we're celebrating this month, all of us are mixed with something. And being mixed with, Native American, Indian, whatever you want to say, that's not something that black people just say. A lot of black people are mixed with Native American, Indian. A lot of people are. And you don't have to be looked at as unique, but a lot are. A lot are mixed with everything. Look, we celebrate this thing every February, You are not light skinned. Mama Shelby, I am well aware that I am not light skinned, dear. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate you. I am not light skinned. I consider myself sun-kissed. I am sun-kissed, caramel complected. I don't know, whatever. I'm a woman. I'm cute on my level. You are not light skinned. So true. A good looking but hating person makes them automatically ugly. Absolutely. 70% of Black Americans have. Yeah, and I believe that, native blood. Yeah, I believe that because of our history. I'm a tall woman, and sometimes I've been called a man and sir. It's very hurtful. People, we live in a fallen world. People are just, they say dumb things, That's where you have to, you can't change it. If you're a tall woman, you're a tall woman. There's nothing you can do about that. They refer to you as man and sir, It's like, okay, call them yes, ma'am. If he's a man saying that, I don't know. It's like, people are going to say dumb things. You just have to really be confident enough to like let it roll off of your back. Like I told my kids, you can't control the reactions of other people. You can only control what you do and what you say. People are going to say dumb things. Has anyone seen the young model Anuk? She looks like a work of art. She's very dark. I think I have. An ignorant photographer says she looks like a cockroach. Let's step on him. Saying she looks like a cockroach. That's so ignorant. People are very ignorant. I'm about to look up what she looks like. Yeah, people say all kind of dumb things. My goodness, it's almost 5 o'clock. It's almost 5. Yeah, some people are just ugly on the inside. And there's really nothing you can do about that except for, limit your interaction with them if you can. And, don't take to heart everything people say, especially when you don't know them. Because if they don't know you personally, it's like, whatever, it's just air. It's just air talking. Like, I could care less what you think about me. I'm not going to let you disrespect me. I'm not going to sit in the company of people who put me down. But people say dumb things. We have all been guilty of saying dumb things. There are some people who are mean spirited where they just live in that, way of being mean to people. But we've all said crazy things. We've all said dumb things. That's why when I hear people say certain things, I'm not like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't be that way. The world is not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but you don't have to be perfect to not be a hater. That's just my opinion. Oh, that's supposed to be, I forgot that fast looking up Anok. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Anok. Oh, I've seen her before. Okay. Let me see if I can highlight it. Her picture. I'm trying to highlight her picture. She is beautiful. And called her a cockroach. She's not even that dark, really. She's like more I've seen darker complexions. No matter what, it doesn't want somebody calling somebody a roach, but she's beautiful. She's like milk chocolate. Beautiful. And she's a model. Like, it doesn't matter. Whatever is for you is for you. And she probably isn't worried about the next model, the lighter model, the skinnier model, whatever. She's doing her thing where she is. She's her best representation of herself. And that's how women, you don't have to be a supermodel to carry yourself in that way. Be the best representation of yourself. I've seen beautiful, darker skinned women who shine and her beauty exudes. Absolutely. She's gorgeous. Absolutely. Some female name. Absolutely. Especially when you have Julie Evans, when you have a man acting that way, calling you a man or saying little remarks towards you. I'm like, some men are so sassy. They're like women, have little smart remarks about your, especially the way you look. It's like, all right, ma'am. Or like, all right, bye, girl. Talking right to a man. You call me a man. All right. See you, sis. I just saw a video of a guy talking about, it was like a Christian video about spiritual things, and he was talking about effeminate pastors. And the man, he was like, sis, stop, because of how he was acting. When a man tries to come at you that way, he's now putting himself in a feminine position. So responding to him as sis, I mean, you don't want to be disrespectful, but he's disrespecting you. But the wise thing to do is to ignore it. But you have some men that are very sassy, acting just like women, try to insult a woman. It's so weird. And I think that's this new generation of men. Not all of them, but there are some very, I don't feel safe with a lot of these new school men. I just don't. And I'm not saying because they're going to put me in harm's way. They're not like protector energy vibes. And I'm just going to leave it at that. This video is not about that. But yeah, I'll probably do another live specifically about men and how men try to humiliate you and the sassy acting ways of men and why I think it's like that. Because men have evolved, and not in a positive way. Not all men, but just the overarching thing. Like, it's very different now. But Chanel Parker, welcome to the live. You came in toward the end. So I suggest after this live ends, go back and watch from the beginning. We talked about a little bit of everything. Thanks, ladies. You're welcome, Value. I appreciate you being here. We are all connected in one spirit of God. Sorry to hear that, Julie. Some men are sassy and insecure. Absolutely. I'm just like, what's wrong with you? Yes. So, ladies, have you gotten the book, Girl on Girl Wars? Did you know if you type in Girl on Girl Wars inside of the Amazon YouTube box, my book will automatically pop up? Girl on Girl Wars, Jealousy and Envy Amongst Women. Get the book, How to Be a Feminine Woman, the Blueprint, and Detoxing from Toxic People. And we also have All Things Woman merch. You need to check out our merch shop. I absolutely appreciate you all. I absolutely appreciate all of you who sent the cash apps and the super chat. I appreciate all of it. I am so glad that you're finding value in the content. It's 5 o'clock. My husband will be home soon. I'm sure my kids want to eat. And yeah, I'm in my dining room and I just like to have my space. Normally I'm in my office, but the lighting is not so great up there around this time of the evening. But I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining the live chat. And I'm going to be going live more often. I have a whole list, a catalog of videos about jealousy, envy, and then some of the older videos that I did are about like femininity and how to operate in your feminine energy. And if you're interested, let me know by showing hearts. Are you interested in more like videos about feminine energy and how to have a softer life? Who's interested in those topics? Because where I am right now, I feel like I am really heavily going into the soft life for myself. And there's a lot of changes I've made, and I really want to talk about it. So if you're interested in the soft life content, just leaning more into your femininity, feminine energy, just hit the hearts, leave hearts in the comments if you're interested in that, because I think the first part of really not worrying about your haters and all of that kind of stuff, you have to be living softly. You have to have an unbothered attitude. You have to be in that feminine energy. Otherwise, the things I talk about are really going to affect you negatively. You won't be able to be unbothered. So in order to get unbothered, you need to have that softer life and be in that feminine energy. If you're interested, leave the hearts in the comments section. And yeah, I'm going to be going into that content more because as women, you know, we have to be softer. We have to operate from that place. We can't let the haters get to us. We have to stay at peace. We have to stay soft. So if you're interested, just look out for that kind of content coming soon. And yeah, I'm looking to do a live webinar. I'm letting you know ahead of time. This will be a paid webinar that I'm going to be doing soon for all of us ladies, getting into detail about specific topics where you all can interact with me face to face via Zoom, doing a webinar, doing an actual chat, like kind of a group setting where I can actually hear your beautiful voices, I'm sure. So, and it'll be for a select few ladies. So be on the lookout for that. It is going to be a paid webinar. You know, I give it to you straight. It's not going to be free. It's going to be paid, but it's not going to be a lot. So don't fear. But yeah, I just want to be able to interact with you beyond the comments section. I do have one-on-one coaching as well. Bear in mind, because a lot of you reach out to me, but keep in mind about your time zone. So if you're in like our European countries, if you're in Africa, if you're in different continents, different countries, please bear in mind that I'm in Eastern Standard Time. So I had one appointment and I appreciate it, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning. She's scheduled for 11 a.m. She's in France. So just bear in mind with the time difference when you schedule the one-on-one. And if you're open to flexibility, I absolutely appreciate you. But I believe the group setting is going to be better for these kind of discussions. Again, I keep emphasizing because I want you to know it's not going to be free, but it's not going to be expensive. You're not missing mortgage payments or meals to attend my webinar, okay? So I appreciate you all. I'm about to end this. I said I was going to go until my computer battery was dying, and it's just about dying. So I appreciate you all. God bless you as well, Julia Evans. Maybe you'll be wearing a pink boa next time. Love, Julie. I appreciate that. Thank you for the ladies who responded to people in the comment sections on the things that I didn't see. And I'm even going to look into getting a moderator too, because as this channel grows and I get a lot more comments, I'm going to be looking for at least one moderator to kind of thumb through some of the comments and get rid of the comments that you know from knowing me on the channel that I probably wouldn't want to see and get rid of them for me. So I'm going to be looking through some of my loyal subscribers, those of you that I see comment all the time, those of you who are probably amongst the membership, and I'm going to be looking to you to possibly be a moderator. So just leave yourself open to that opportunity. I would appreciate it because as this channel grows, there are a lot of people commenting, a lot of people who want to do consultations. Bye, Diana. I appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your night. A lot of people who want to interact with me directly and the direction we're going, I'm going to need a couple moderators probably. So be on the lookout for that, or message me through the email in my description if you're interested in being a moderator for this channel, okay? I absolutely appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And you enjoy the rest of your evening. Until next time, all right? Like and subscribe to the channel if you are not already a member. All Things Woman, and get the books. Link in the description of this video and the description of my channel. Take care.